We welcome you back into our Drilling Pharmacy pregame report here on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS. I'm Daniel Versteg. We're chatting pregame with the head coach of the Morningside University football team. That's Coach Steve Ryan after his squad 2 weeks ago took down Mount Marty 56-7. Now is coming off a bye week last week, getting set to take on the Midland Warriors, who are 3-2 overall, 3-1 in the GPAC, and of course on homecoming week, a big contest here for the Mustangs. Coach, when you come off a bye week like this, I believe you said earlier in the bye week that you were going to rest your guys a little bit more than you normally do during a bye week. For you as a coach, what kind of determines whether you are resting more or whether you're working harder more during a bye week? What determines that?
Well, I mean, when you trying to make decisions about how much to work your guys or rest guys, obviously, you're trying to take the best knowledge you can and make a decision with that. We chose to rest our guys a little bit more for two reasons. One is we just went through a long season last year in terms of the spring, and we really didn't have that much time off. And just that mental, that just having a little bit of time away from the coaches. And then we have a veteran team. So because we have a lot of veteran players in the field, the freshness is a little bit more important.
With that being said, you still had things that you did want to work on during the bye week. Obviously, maybe not as hard as you would during a normal season bye week. But what kind of things were you able to work on, and what kind of goals did you accomplish over your bye week?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of it, we talk to our guys a lot about who they are as individuals. I mean, you can talk about, hey, working on things, what sort of things do I need to work on? But what else goes with that is the reality that each player has their own set of skills and abilities, and they have their own little things that they've got to work on. So a lot of it is just goal setting and looking at yourself and what do I have to work on as an individual. I think on offense, we've got to find ways to take care of the ball better, and that's what we worked on. And obviously, we won't see the effects of that until we get in the game on Saturday. And on defense, just not having those mental letdowns where we give up some big plays. And same thing, we'll see the result of that on Saturday.
Another thing about a bye week is it maybe gives your guys a little bit more renewed energy. Obviously, you talked about your team competing against each other in practice, and that they competed hard. While you like to see them compete, do they kind of get sick of competing with a guy in a maroon jersey and want to go out and hit somebody else for a change?
I think there is definitely this aspect of, you want to see somebody new to compete against. You want to play against somebody new, and you want you want that external competition that people see, and you can kind of show what you're working on. With that being said, those guys know that one of the best offenses or defenses they're going to face all year is when they go against the first unit on the other side of the ball in practice. And for lack of a better analogy, at times it's like playing basketball, one-on-one basketball on your driveway with your brother. It's like, yeah, it really doesn't get old. You want to beat the guy. You want to beat him no matter what. And so there was great energy this week. I felt the guys going after each other, very competitive, and hopefully it helps them get to where they need to get to.
When you see energy like that and you see guys just kind of having fun playing the sport of football like you would, like you said, playing one-on-one on the driveway, does that as a coach give you that much more elevated confidence going into a game like today's?
Well, it does. I mean, you always want guys that enjoy competing, not necessarily winning. They want to go against good players. They want to be challenged. They want to see how good they are, regardless win or lose. They just want to get out there and compete, and that shows itself in practice.
We're chatting with Coach Steve Ryan. He's the head coach of Morningside University football on our Drilling Pharmacy pregame. Now getting ready to compete against the Midland Warriors, who are 3-2, 3-1 in the conference, but As you've said over the last week or so, Coach, that's a very deceiving record. You've talked about their explosive weapons on the outside offensively. What makes those guys explosive and such a difference maker on offense?
Well, I mean, they've got guys that are athletic and they can catch the ball, exceptionally well, and that's what makes them explosive is they have the athletic ability to take a routine play and turn it into a big play.
That's kind of leading into my next question here. With a team so athletically gifted like that and a team that can rattle off big plays like you talk about, what do you have to do on defense to make sure this game doesn't become a track meet with you guys running 100 yards up the field all the time?
Yeah. Number one, we have to tackle. You get a chance to tackle somebody, you need to tackle them. And I think a lot of it just starts with that, tackling well, and then number two, just playing the ball in the air well for our D-backs.
You said something on Monday about your defense keeping your eyes in the right place when it comes to playing Midland's offense. What do you mean by that, and how do you accomplish that to make sure your defense is successful today?
Well, I mean, I discipline. It's hard to work on in just a day. It takes a career of working on it, but getting the right reads on what's going to happen and understanding what's going to take place and having your eyes in the right place can make all the difference. If your eyes are in the wrong place, then the other team can fool you. You can maybe lose the guy you're supposed to cover or lose what's going on the play. And so often in life, we get off track because we put our eyes in the wrong place. It's the same in football. Keep your eyes right, and you can actually see what's taking place.
Is that the key to making sure you make better tackles as well, and focusing on that part?
Without question, yes.
Talking with Coach Steve Ryan, head coach of Morningside football. That's a bit on the Midland offense. Take a look at this defense here, and I guess right away, what kind of things stand out to you as things that they do well on defense?
Well, I think number one, they create turnovers. I think they have 7 interceptions on the year. Some of them are really big interceptions, and so they create turnovers. And I think they do that because they're physical and they're fast, and so they create turnovers. And I think it's an outstanding D line. I thought it was the best D line we played against last year, and those guys are mostly back. So we're going to have our hands full there.
When you go up against a D-line like this that you have so much praise for, and that is so good, what is the key to having success neutralizing them and making sure they're not just living for free in your backfield?
Well, blocking them. So you've got to fundamentally do things right. When you're blocking them, you got to keep your head up. You got to keep your feet moving. You just have to work on your fundamentals, and you have to block your fundamentals. And then number two, they're going to beat you sometimes. You just can't let them beat you twice in a row. And in other words, what happened on the last play can't affect your next play. You got to get back up and you got to keep playing.
Against a defensive line like this that puts pressure on you, and against a secondary like you talked about that can force turnovers, does that force you guys to implement obviously you have the screen game which you work on so well, but does that also implement a bit of a quicker passing scheme where Joe has maybe 2 seconds to get rid of the ball?
Yeah, you've got to be you have to have plays where you get rid of the ball quickly.
Taking a look also, they shut down the run game very well on defense. What's it going to take for you to get a ground game going that for you guys has sometimes struggled this year?
Yeah, I think the quick passing game that you mentioned there a little bit and running the ball, those two things oftentimes work together hand in hand. The secret to getting a run game going is blocking people. So people have struggled running the ball because they've struggled to block their front seven, and we've got to hopefully execute our run game properly and block people properly.
Chatting with Coach Ryan. Normally, special teams is something we don't bring up a whole lot, but you can't not bring it up when you talk about their kicking game. Jared Quinones is been the player of the week the last few weeks in the conference. When you face a kicker like that who can pretty much get their drives 3 points almost on command, does that put more pressure on your offense to make sure they are clicking on all cylinders? Because Midland's going to be able to get points a lot of the time.
I mean, he's a good kicker, and you've got to be concerned about that. I mean, but the fact that he's a good kicker can't change your game in any regards. Every time your offense is on the field, they're looking to score points, and regardless of how good their kicker is, that can't change it unless you get into that point where you're late in the game and a field goal might decide the game. But outside of that, anytime you try to change what you do on offense because perhaps of what they have on offense, you're playing with fire in terms of who you are. We've got to be able to do what we do on offense, and then when they get the ball, our defense has got to do what they can to keep them from moving the ball and getting in that position. I think this is a big game on special teams, not because of their kicker. Their kicker is an outstanding player and can make kicks, and if they do things right on their field goal extra point team, there's not a lot we can do about that. But I think it's a big game because I think we're very good on special teams, and I think they're very good on special teams. They've got, Tremaine's an outstanding punt and kick returner. They do a great job of scheming and game planning their special teams, and in all of their games, they make plays on special teams, and being able to line up and play them in that regards is going to be important.
Well, it's going to be important. You outlined a number of things there that are keys to success here, Coach. So, hey, we hope those work out for you. We hope that ends up happening, and we appreciate your time as always. Best of luck today.
All right, thank you.
Yep. That was head coach Steve Ryan, head coach of Morningside University football on our Drilling Pharmacy pregame report. We'll have more from Elwood Olson Stadium leading you up to kickoff between the Midland Warriors and your Morningside Mustangs here on Homecoming. We're back with more after this break. You're listening to Mustang Football on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS, Sioux City. We welcome you back to Elwood Olson Stadium here on the campus of Morningside University alongside Bob Goodman up in the booth, Daniel Versteg. Nathan Hoagland is down on the sideline, and, well, you can tell the crowd's starting to warm up. We're ready to get going here. Morningside's going to get the football to start this contest as Midland won the opening toss, and they elected to defer their choice to the second half. So the Warriors will kick first, receive second, and the opposite of that for your Mustangs. And we were just talking in the break there, Bob, after Coach Ryan's interview. You were talking about Midland's offense and the two guys mainly that we're going to see at the wide receiver position, and Dalton Tremaine and Kenneth Carr. And you as a coach obviously have things going through your mind leading off to kickoff. You're kind of thinking about, well, what can Morningside do to slow down a guy like Dalton Tremaine?
Well, if Tremaine was their only threat, you can do a lot of different things. But when the leading receiver's on the other side of the ball,
right.
I mean, that does limit you a little bit. But I'll be interested to see what Midland does with the two receivers. Do they keep them opposite one another so that you make Morningside defend the entire field at that point, or do they line them up on the same side of the ball at times? Because that does affect coverages and affects defensive calls.
You know, and the other wrinkle, I guess, if you want to throw into this as well, is the tight end for Midland has 21 catches in 5 games as well. So you add that little wrinkle, and you have yourself a 3 to 4 headed monster on offense that you have to worry about.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And tight ends, when they line up in a traditional tight end spot, they have a tendency to get lost anyway. I mean, they can get lost in coverage, and so you're exactly right, Daniel. That's a 3-headed problem right there.
Well, what isn't a problem is that we are ready for kickoff. It is homecoming, and it's a good to have as normal a homecoming as we can. Of course, homecoming was kind of subdued last year due to COVID. Now we can have everybody back on campus. We get the M Club Hall of Famers back. We get the class of 71 and 61 are on campus here celebrating their 50th and 60th class reunions. And it's Morningside football. We're ready to go. Third-ranked Morningside will return from left to right. The Midland Warriors at 3-2 will be kicking from right to left as sophomore kicker Jared Quinones tees this ball up on the left hash at the 35-yard line. Mustang football underway from Elwood Olson Stadium as he boots this thing high into the air, an end-over-end kick, fielded at the 1-yard line near side of the field by Schwager. Taken up to the right numbers, 20, 25.
Fumbled.
And he lost the football, and Midland might be on it at the 23. We're waiting the signal. No, it is Morningside that has it at the 23-yard line. Oh, a scare there on the opening kickoff. The Mustangs will get the ball, though, to start things. Well, Coach Ryan said on offense, but still applicable here, he needs to see his team take care of the football better, and right away that first return, that's not seeing it. So here we go, 1st and 10 for the Mustang offense. The Mustang offense that has scored 58 points a game over their first 3 contests. 1st and 10, 24-yard line, handoff Sims around the left side, gets across the 25 to the 30, in between the hashes, and is tackled forward to the 33-yard line. That's 9 yards. It's 2nd and 1.
You know, you look at Midland's defense, and it mirrors what Morningside does on defense, and that is that they're not afraid to take linebackers out of the box. Now, they're all 3 in the box this time, but
they stack 3 receivers on the right side. This handoff goes to Sims. He has first down yardage across the 34, across the 35, and down to the 37. A pickup of 4 moves the chains for 1st and 10. Early on, a first down here for the Mustangs.
And early on, notable effort to run the ball, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2 carries, 13 yards already here for Anthony Sims. 1st and 10 of the Mustang 37-yard line. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Out of the pistol, a handoff around the right side. Off tackle Anthony Sims. And he gets brought down in the open field out of the 40-yard line. That's Joey Martin, the corner on the stop. They mark him at the 41. 4 yards makes it 2nd and 6. Joey Martin on that corner. The senior from Omaha, Nebraska. There are a number of seniors and fifth-year players on this Midland squad, of course, with the extra year granted by COVID-19. 2nd down and 6 of the Mustang 41-yard line. Out of the gun. Dalenchuk, a play-action fake, has a 5-step drop, rifles it over the middle. Jurgensmeyer's open at the 35 and takes a hit into Midland territory at the 32-yard line. Great ball over the middle. Jurgensmeyer open in between the defense, and it's a first down for the Mustangs.
Well, if you had a chance to watch that play again, you look and see how deep Jurgensmeyer was on his dig route coming across the field. But notice how deep the linebackers got, and that took a perfect throw from Dalenchuk to get it over the heads of the linebackers getting so deep.
1st and 10 here, Midland 32-yard line. Jake Towdy motions as a receiver to the left side to put 3 on that side. Handoff right side. This goes to Anthony Sims, and he gets tackled forward and smushed afterwards by his offensive lineman at the 31. A pickup of a yard makes it 2nd and 9. And Sims has to check out after Mason Williams fell on top of him on a block on that right side. Ryan Cole is in on 2nd down and 9. Midland 31-yard line, 3 receivers left, 1 receiver right. 2 receivers are stacked on that left side. Dalenchuk throws toward the right sideline, caught by Tuifua, and he gets tripped up forward across the 25 to the 23. Stop made by Crash Woodle, and the 8-yard gain makes it 3rd and 1.
Morningside flexed the tight end out there and soloed him up. And you don't see Morningside do that a lot by throwing hitches into the boundary to a flex tight end like that.
12:23 left of the first quarter. Midland and Morningside scoreless on our People's Bank scoreboard, and a 3rd down and 1 upcoming. The Mustangs on the doorstep of the red zone of the Midland 23. 3 receivers. This handoff to Cole up the middle. He's got the first down. He's across the 22, down to the 21-yard line. A pickup of 2 on a carry up the middle. It's 1st and 10.
Yeah, Morningside got into a little unbalanced line right there. They had Tuafua standing up in a 2-point stance about 3 foot outside where he normally is, and they bring Jurgensmeyer in and put his hands down at tight end, and they're both on the line of scrimmage, so it's basically an unbalanced line at that point.
So 1st down and 10. The Mustangs a yard out of the red zone of the Warrior 21. A trips bunch to the left side. 3 receivers out there, none to the right. They're leaving Crash Woodle the corner here on this near side of the field. Dalenchek drops back to throw over the left seam and making the catch in the back of the end zone. That's Reed Jurgensmeyer, and he's in for a Mustang touchdown. Got his feet down inside the end zone, and Morningside leads 6-0 right away over Midland on our People's Bank scoreboard.
Yeah, Morningside brought their number 2 receiver in motion there and drug him across the field, and that got the eyes of the safety on him, and Jurgensmeyer ran right past his man at that point, and that's what Coach Ryan was saying in the pregame. That motion got the defensive eyes in the wrong spot.
It's Reed Jurgensmeyer's 4th touchdown of the year, 58th of his Mustang football career, and Chase Carter tacks on the point after try as he remains perfect. 26 of 26 on point after kicks. 7-0 Morningside up in front of Midland with 11:32 left in the first quarter. The Warriors will get the football when we return to Elwood Olson Stadium. We're back in 30 seconds. This is Mustang football on the voice of Morningside Athletics, Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS, Sioux City. We welcome you back to Elwood Olson Stadium. Daniel Versteg and Bob Goodvin up in the booth. Nathan Hoagland down on the sideline. We'll get a couple of words in from Nathan here in just a moment. As Morningside leads Midland 7-0 on our People's Bank scoreboard. 11:32 left in the first quarter. Joe Dalenchek finds Reed Jurgensmeyer for a 21-yard touchdown pass. Caps off an 8-play, 76-yard drive that took a little under 3.5 minutes off of the clock. And now Chase Carter to boot this thing away and give Midland their first chance to take over possession of the football. As Carter sends a high right-footed end-over-end kick. This is fielded inside the 10-yard line by Darren Gentry across the 15-20, and Gentry is brought down at the 23-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 10 here for the Warriors at their own 23. Let's check in with the 3rd member of our crew, Nathan Hoagland, down on the sideline. Nathan, as Morningside's defense takes the field, what did you hear as they were getting ready to go?
Yeah, it's really about setting the tempo. They really want to, own the first drive of the game.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Nathan. That's going to be important is obviously getting the tempo going offensively, but also defensively. Jake Ashby on a play action, heaves it up over the middle of the field, and Drew Bessie makes a great one-handed interception. We're going to get a flag, though. This might be on the Mustangs, but Bessie hauls it in at the Morningside 42-yard line on a one-handed interception. I think this one's coming back, though, Bob.
Yeah, they're going to get pass interference on somebody. But what you saw there was Morningside playing really deep coverage.
Right.
Midland came out with a little play action. They're trying to hit the post over the top, and Bessie, the safety, was 5 yards behind the receiver with underneath coverage behind it. So, again, that's why Midland doesn't throw for a high percentage right there. They like to take shots downfield,
Sure.
and, the more you throw downfield, the less your percentage of completion is going to be.
So that defensive pass interference gives Midland a 1st down right away up to the 39-yard line And it's 1st and 10 here for the Warriors, lined up at their own 39, left hash mark. 2 receivers right, 1 receiver left. Jake Ashby in the gun. Helmet high snap, gets it down. Handoff up the middle, and across the 40 to the 41-yard line goes Dalton Tremaine. So there is the wide receiver in the backfield with a straight-ahead carry for 2 yards, makes it 2nd and 8.
There was a ton of pre-snap movement there by Midland. They shifted 2 people from one side of the ball to another, and then they shifted the running back to the other side. And when you watch things like that, just watch the defense and see what they're doing and see if they're making mass movements of their own.
2nd down and 8 for the Warriors at their own 41-yard line, down 7-0 on our People's Bank scoreboard. A belt high snap, Ashby, a quick drop, throws toward the right side. That pass is caught, and getting around the defender across the 45 to the 49. I believe that's Terrell Stanley out there. And no, it's Amari Garcia, beg your pardon. Amari Garcia with the 8-yard completion has just enough to move the chains, and a 1st down for Midland.
Yeah, just simple little hitch route into the boundary. And, if you're going to get cushion on your number 1 receivers, you got to be able to throw hitches or outs and something to take advantage of that.
So the Warriors with a couple of 1st downs, 1 via a penalty and 1 via a completion to Amari Garcia. It's 1st and 10 for the Warriors at their own 49-yard line. Ashby with the give, looking around the left side. This is Levi Markey, and he gets gobbled up in the backfield for a loss. It is Portis, Anderson, all kinds of Mustangs in there for a stop. It's a loss of 1. It's 2nd and 11. Midland backed up to their own 48-yard line, trying to get Levi Markey going, the sophomore running back from Sacramento, California. A runner who's only averaged 65 yards a game on the ground and only averaging 3 yards a carry. Ground game has not been totally successful here for the Warriors this season. 2nd down and 11 to the 48. And an end around, carry around the right side. This is Kenneth Carr, the third, outside the right numbers, across midfield and into Mustang territory at the 45-yard line. A pickup of 7 for Carr, and that's going to set up 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, if you look at Morningside secondary, they're definitely playing off the ball. They're definitely giving cushion to the number 1 receivers, and the safeties are sitting back at 10 to 12 yards. So they respect Midland's ability to throw the ball downfield when they're doing that. And Midland just ran a simple little jet sweep right there and picked up 6 yards.
Got a whistle that stops play here for a moment on 3rd down and 4.
I think they're making
Davian Bradley come off the field. For what reason, I'm not sure, but they're going to have to bring in a backup, and K-John Green, the corner, the freshman, is replacing Davion Bradley. I'm not sure exactly what that was all about, but now here we go on 3rd down and 4. Mustang 45-yard line. Ashby motions man out of the backfield, and Tremaine. Morningside rushes 4. Ashby steps up and goes down for a sack. A flag will come out, possibly for a hold, as Ashby loses 5 to set up 4th and 9, barring the penalty.
Yeah, they're definitely going to get an offensive lineman for holding there. And
we'll see. Yep, it is holding penalty, and they're going to decline that one. No doubt about it. Take the loss of 5 and the loss of down to set up 4th down and 9 for the Warriors from midfield. And, well, the Warriors, it looks like they're going to keep that offense out on the field. Nope. They make the change late. They'll bring the punting unit out here on 4th and 9 from midfield. 7-0. Morningside leads Midland on our People's Bank scoreboard. And here with 8 minutes and 37 seconds left in the first quarter. So the Mustang defense allowed Midland into Morningside territory for a moment and is able to keep them from getting any farther. Cole Lundy, the senior, comes out to punt this one away. Out of his 20 punts this year, 7 have been downed inside the 20-yard line. Caleb Schwagert will return this one up the far side of the field. Schwagert fields it inside the 10, has to dance out of it, takes it left sideline, 20, 25, 30, and run out of bounds on the Midland side of the field at the 33-yard line. Schwagert picks up about 25 yards on that punt return and gives Morningside decent field position with 1st and 10.
I think Morningside's a little fortunate right there. They didn't get a block in the back. And if you look at the Midland sideline, the refs are getting a kind of an earful about it, too. It was happened right on about the 30-yard line.
Well, that's where Morningside's going to start their drive. No penalty called on that one. And so the Mustangs will get another try at the Midland defense, see if they can go up by 2 scores early and give themselves a chance to maybe run away from the Midland defense, or the Midland team as a whole. 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line, 4 receivers. 2 on either side, now 3 to the right after the motion of Jurgensmeyer. A screen pass. Jurgensmeyer's looking to throw down the right sideline. Has Norton across midfield. Gets by a defender, 35. Lost the football. It's picked up by Midland inside the 25-yard line. And it's Christian Rodriguez who picks it up for the Warriors at the 21. And Midland gets the ball back right away with 1st and 10. Boy, what a wacky play that was.
Well, you could tell by the path of the motion, because he came in motion, and then once he got to the quarterback, he got instant depth. And you knew at that point he was going to throw it. And Norton went out and did a good job of making it look like he was stalk blocking the corner, and then ran right past him. And just a good play by the Midland defense to recover from it.
Well, Reed Jurgensmeyer's first collegiate football pass is completed, but it ends up in a fumble from Norton, and now Ashby drops back to throw. He throws toward the right sideline. That's a free ball. It's picked off by Drew Bessie at the Warrior 30-yard line. A turnover for Morningside leads to a turnover for the Warriors, and it's 1st and 10 for the Mustangs deep in Midland territory.
Well, the defensive end made the play. I mean, he beat the tackle to his inside and put pressure on the quarterback right away. But, boy, for the quarterback, you just can't throw that ball. Yep. I mean, you just can't do that.
Well, Drew Bessie had an interception earlier that got called back for defensive pass interference, and now he gets the interception, which is his first pick of the season. And now Morningside, well, they are going to end up getting the result of that trick play they had earlier. It's 1st and 10 of the Warrior 30. Here's Dallin checking the gun. Gives it to Sims, looking off tackle left side, around the numbers, 25. And Sims picks up 9 yards as he gets tackled forward to the 21. It makes it 2nd down and 1.
Well, early on, you got to be impressed with the way Morningside's running the football. And they're doing it quite often. On 1st down, they're running the ball and getting 4, 5, 6 yards every time.
2nd down and 1 here, 21-yard line, a sweep right side. Sims following, blocking across the 15, runs over a defender and gets brought down to the 10-yard line. That's 11 yards for Sims. It's 1st and goal.
That's 2 carries for 20 yards, and when you can do that, you're dominating the line of scrimmage.
7:15 left in the first quarter. 7-0 Mustangs on our People's Bank scoreboard. 1st and goal from the 10. A handoff, Sims looking around the right side. And he gets tackled inside the right numbers at about the 6-yard line. A pickup of 4 makes it 2nd and goal. I see what you're looking at over there, Bob. Zach Norton and Crash Woodle getting into it after the play.
I think they're just asking how algebra class is going, that's all.
A very important subject down there on the field. 2nd down and goal, the Warriors' 6-yard line. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Dallin checking the gun with Tuafua as a tight end, putting his hand on the ground on the left side. Dallin the chest-high snap, throws a fade left corner of the end zone, batted away from Reed Jurgensmeyer. And what a play out there on the sideline, knocking that ball away. That's Charles Barnes, the third, who gets in between that pass and the target. It's 3rd and goal.
Yeah, Morningside tried to hit the corner route there to Jurgensmeyer. It's either a smash scheme or what, an out with a corner scheme of some manner, and that's just good coverage by the Midland safety.
Yeah, the senior Barnes the third was in there to bat it away. It's 3rd down and goal now from the Warriors 6. 3 receivers left, 1 right. Dallin looks to throw. He's going to try it again to Jurgensmeyer. That time it is through the hands of Reed and dropped in the end zone. It's 4th and goal, and it'll be the field goal unit coming out with Chase Carter. Boy, Joe thought he had him. He did, but the pass was just dropped.
Yeah, you just saw something extremely rare, and that's Reed Jurgensmeyer drop a ball.
Yeah, that's a very rare occurrence. Joe was a little bit frustrated there that Reed didn't haul that one in, showing his animation. It's now a field goal attempt for Chase Carter off the right hash from 23 yards out. Ladwig on the hold, snap, spot, and the field goal is no good. He missed it wide right. Chase Carter is 0 for 2 on field goals to start the year, and Midland keeps Morningside off the scoreboard with 6:23 left in the first quarter. It's 7-0 on our People's Bank scoreboard. I know that was a chip shot, Bob. I thought that was a pretty makeable kick.
Well, it's definitely a makeable kick. I was just watching the conversation of the two refs.
Now, Coach Ryan is talking to our white hat. I wonder if, I mean, that kick looked pretty good. But obviously we don't have the angle from the goalposts.
Well, as soon as the one ref called it no good, the other ref came over and started talking to him, and that's what I was looking at. Like, are you sure that's no good?
Well, all right. We have a no good kick. It's 1st and 10 for the Warriors of their own 20. It remains a one-possession game. Here's Ashby faking the give, keeps it himself, and he meets Tyler Wingert at the 21-yard line. Isaac Pingle on the stop. 2nd down and 9 for the Warriors at their own 21.
And right there you saw the scheme of the Morningside defense, and that is the Morningside defensive front eats up gaps, they eat up blockers, and it just allows the linebackers to run free, and their Wingert just, nobody was there to block him.
Tyler Wingert has already been a 2-time GPAC Defensive Player of the Week this season. Last time the Mustangs played, he earned a Defensive Player of the Week honors. 2nd down and 9 of the 21-yard line. Midland motions a man in the backfield. This give goes around the right side. This is Tremaine, and he runs into a couple of Mustang defensive linemen. Dominic Barrett on the stop at the 23, picks up 2, and it's 3rd down and 7.
Well, so far early on, Weston Schultz, the Morningside left defensive end, is just dominating the Midland right tackle. I mean, he's having a hard time blocking him, and that's who made that play right there, among other people, of course. But Weston Schultz is having his way right now.
Well, it's 3rd down and 7. Let's see if the Warriors can get their way offensively and move the sticks. Ashby takes the snap out of the gun, drops to throw, heaves it up toward the left sideline. This might be a free ball. It's picked off again. Drew Bessie has it at the 43. He was fighting down there with the receiver, Colby Stevens. Bessie comes up with another interception, and it's 1st and 10 for the Mustangs at the 43. Oh, man, they were jockeying for position there, Bob, and somehow Drew ended up with a football.
Well, the route was trying to take advantage of the weakness of two high safeties, and that's right behind the corner and outside the safety. That's one of your weaknesses. But the ball's just in the air too long, and it allows Bessie to get there. And if you notice, by the time the ball got to the receiver, there were 3 defenders around him.
Well, here we go. Another scoring opportunity off a turnover here for the Mustangs. 1st and 10 from their own 43. Schwegert motions into the slot. Dolencheck throws a screen on the left side. Schwegert following blockers. Dukes outside the left numbers. 45 midfield and into Warrior territory at the 43-yard line. That is 9 yards. No, they will give him the 10th yard and move the chains. That's 1st down on the screen to Caleb Schwegert.
Well, they brought Schwegert in motion and then brought him right back out and then just threw the bubble screen to him. And the motion showed that it was man coverage. And if you can block the guy who has the man with the ball, you got a big play.
Hand off Sims on 1st and 10. Breaks outside the left numbers, 45, and to the 40-yard line as he dives forward for another extra yard. 7 yards on that carry to the Midland 40. It's 2nd and 3.
Another 1st down run, another 1st down gain of 5, 6, 7 yards. It's becoming the norm right now.
4:17 left in the first quarter. Morningside 7, Midland nothing on our People's Bank scoreboard. 2nd and 3, Midland 40-yard line. 2 receivers right of Joe Dolencheck in the gun. Out of the play action fake. Pass toward the right sideline, caught by Norton. Stiff-arming a defender on his way out of bounds. Into the Morningside side of the field to the 31. Pickup of 9. Moves the chains for 1st down.
What you saw there is he was stiff-arming the face mask of the defender, which is perfectly legal as long as you don't grab it. And when you do that, that's a big advantage to the offensive player. And I say that as an offensive-minded coach.
1st and 10 here to the Midland 31-yard line. 5 receivers, 3 to the left, 2 to the right of Dolencheck, all by himself in the gun. 5 yards deep of his center, and we've got
Midland didn't recognize the formation.
They did not.
But Morningside jumped.
A false start called on the Mustangs. And that's going to back him up to the 36. So right away, Morningside starts behind the chains. It's 1st and 15 following the penalty.
And Morningside came out in an empty set, meaning no running backs, and there were 3 receivers to the wide side of the field. And that safety over there was yelling at the other safety to come over. And it's probably unfortunate for Morningside that they had the penalty because they had numbers over there.
Mm-hmm. 3 receivers left now, none right. Out of the pistol is Dolencheck. He gives it to Cole up the middle, and the Warriors have that one read beautifully as Trevor Hublovitz, the defensive end, comes from the other side, makes the play on Cole, picks up a yard to the 35. It's 2nd and 14.
You know, just if you're watching the game being streamed or if you're here at the game, just look how many different formations Morningside gets in. I mean, they're in a different formation every time.
And 2 receivers right, 1 left, and now Sims motions out of the backfield to make receivers on the right side. Dalenchek an empty backfield on 2nd and 14. Throws over the right seam. It's caught by Norton, and he comes up close to the marker at the 21. He has it. It's first down on the 14-yard completion to Zach Norton.
And when they motioned Sims out of the backfield there, you saw a linebacker leave the box and run with him. That tells you all the way that it's man coverage, and I guarantee you he wanted to throw the ball to Jurgesmeyer, but they double-teamed him, opening up another guy. And that's good recognition by Dalenchek.
And now first down and 10 for the Mustangs. Midland 21-yard line, trying to get back into the red zone and get some points on the board again. Dalenchek gives it to Sims, off tackle right side, has a block to the 15 to the 10, stiff arms a man, and gallops into the end zone for a Mustang touchdown. Anthony Sims in from 21 yards out, his 8th rushing touchdown of the year. The Mustangs go up 13-0 on our People's Bank scoreboard. How about that downfield block there at the 10-yard line, Bob?
What I was watching is the corners were pressing the Morningside receivers, and thus they're in man, and they just got them turned and ran them off and then blocked them on the 10-yard line.
Chase Carter now trying to attempt the point after kick, and Chase puts that point after kick through the uprights and good. 14-0, Morningside up in front of Midland on our People's Bank scoreboard. 2:10 left in the first quarter. We're back after this 30-second break with more Mustang football when we return here on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS, Sioux City. We're back to Elwood Olson Stadium here on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS Sioux City. Daniel Versteg up in the booth alongside Bob Goodvin. Nathan Hoagland joins us on the sideline. We'll check in with Nathan here in just a moment. Our score with 2:10 to play in the first quarter. Morningside 14, Midland 0 on our People's Bank scoreboard. Anthony Sims caps off a 6-play, 57-yard drive that took 2 minutes and 46 seconds off the clock, and Sims runs it in from 21 yards out. Here's a squibbing kick from Chase Carter. That rolls up the left seam. It's fielded at the 13-yard line. Taken out by Carr to the, Gentry across the 20 to the 25. And Darren Gentry brought down to the 29-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Warriors there. Let's check in with the third member of our crew. Nathan Hoagland is down on the sideline for us. Nathan, what kind of things are you hearing down there?
I mean, as far as the defense goes, listening to their meetings while the offense was out there, really simple. Keep doing what you're doing.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I like that plan. Thank you very much, Nathan, for that update. Yeah, well, you got that goose egg on the scoreboard. You're doing something right. 1st and 10 of the 28-yard line for the Warriors. As this give goes to Markey around the right side, and Markey gets chased from behind and brought down by Zach McKee to the 29-yard line. It's a pickup of 1. It's 2nd and 9.
You know, go back to that kickoff. That's the first kickoff I can remember in a long time where Morningside didn't hold the return team to the 25-yard line or inside of, and they got to the 26.
Yeah, even when they get outside the 25, it's not for much. Minute 35 left in the first quarter. 14-0 Mustangs on our People's Bank scoreboard. Ashby in the gun. Sends Tremaine on a motion around the left side. He's trying to get to the corner and does across the 30, 35, almost to the 35. Drew Bessie tackles him out of bounds on the near side of the field of the 35-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 on the end around for Tremaine. It's 3rd and 3.
That's a great block by the tailback, number 2, Markey. He came out and cut blocked the outside linebacker, allowing the guy to get outside.
So 3rd down and 3 here for the Warriors. This Midland squad has converted on only 39% of their 3rd down attempts this year. Like to keep their drive alive here at their own 35. Under a minute to play in quarter number 1. It's 14-0. It's 3rd down and 3. Here is Ashby. Fakes the end around. He keeps it himself around the right side. He's looking for the corner. Stiff arms Jamal Jones. Dives out of bounds and has first down yardage at the 39-yard line. That's 4 hard-earned yards for Jake Ashby and a first down for the Warriors.
Did you see the stiff arm, though?
Mm-hmm.
Face mask. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but where the head goes, the body has to go. And if you can push the head back, I mean, that's a huge advantage for an offensive player.
It is. Yeah, when one side of the field can use the face mask and the other can't, that definitely gives them an advantage. 1st and 10 here at the 39. This will probably be the last play of the first quarter. A handoff right side. Markey gets across the 40. Tackled forward to the 45. A good gain on first down. Sets up 2nd and 4 for the Warriors. Only 5 seconds before the end of the first quarter, and Midland will not get another snap in this first quarter of the contest. So 15 minutes done, 45 minutes left to go. Morningside holds a 14-0 lead over the Midland Warriors on our People's Bank scoreboard. We're back in 1 minute with the second quarter of action. You're listening to Mustang Football on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS, Sioux City. Welcome back to Elwood Olson Stadium. Daniel Versteg, Bob Goodvin with you. It's 2nd down and 4. Dalton Tremaine has nowhere to run. He has stood up for a loss of a yard back to the 44-yard line. That's going to make it 3rd down and 5 for the Warriors. And in between the first quarter and the second quarter, Bob, the Mustang fans giving a nice big round of applause to Morningside President John Reinders. He's been the recipient of a number of awards. He was named Honorary King with his wife, Robin, the Honorary Queen here for homecoming, and what a great guy who has led Morningside through such a big glow-up, I guess is the best way to say it.
Well, what he is a leader with great vision.
Mm-hmm. 3rd down and 5 here for the Warriors at their own 44. Ashby drops back to throw, deep over the middle, and well overthrows Kenneth Carr the third and incomplete. It'll be 4th down and 5 for the Warriors, and they are forced to punt from their own end of the field.
Well, he had him. He was running a post route, and what he should have done is thrown the ball to the wider side of the field and let him run to it because there's nobody over there, and he just overthrew him to the wrong side of the field.
And so that'll turn the ball over to Morningside's offense once again as Morningside leads Midland 14-0 on our People's Bank scoreboard. It's 14-11 left in the first half of the contest. Coming up at halftime, we'll check in with stats and scores around the conference, much more coming up at halftime. As this punt coming from Cole Lundy, he runs to his right, gets a high spiraler off, and Schwagert has forced a fair catch it at the 15-yard line. So 1st and 10 there for the Mustangs. They'll start inside their own 20-yard line.
Well, the Midland punter is what you call a rugby punter, and that is the guy who runs to the right and punts it. And if you notice, Morningside overloads the left side of their punt block team, and thus they're running into a whole bunch of numbers, and all they're doing is forcing him to punt the ball sooner because rugby guys like to hold on to the ball and let their guys get downfield a little bit more.
Well, here we go. Morningside starts from inside their own 20, something they're not too familiar with. 1st and 10 of the 14. Pistol set, handoff Sims. He's looking for a block. Doesn't get much as he's tackled backward at the 16-yard line. A pickup of 2 for Sims. It's 2nd and 8. Morningside leads Midland 14-0 on our People's Bank scoreboard. Second down and 8 here at the 16. 3 receivers right, a play action. Pass over the right side, caught by Jake Towdy. Gets across the 20. Tackled forward across the 25 to the 26. That's a gain of 10 and a first down for the Mustangs.
Well, that's a play set up by the formation because they're in a trip set, but they bring the linebacker to the trip, so they're in an unbalanced line. So the defense has another gap to the trip side to defend.
Dalenchek, a screen pass left side. This is Jurgensmeyer getting across the 25 up to the 29. Only a gain of 3 for Reed. Makes it 2nd and 7. Morningside's trying to pick up the tempo here a little bit offensively. They are hurrying up and hardly huddling. But now they take a bit of a breath and get things ready here for a 2nd and 7 play, from the Mustang 29-yard line. Morningside lines up with 2 receivers left and 2 receivers right. It's an empty backfield for Joe Dalenchek. Motion Swigert to the right side to put 3 on that side. Dalenchek, a belt-high snap, drops back to throw over the right seam. Norton is wide open, makes an over-the-shoulder catch. Jukes away from the defender, down the right sideline, 20, 15, and run out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. And a big gain for Zach Norton sets up first down and goal at the Midland 8-yard line.
Yeah, they just hit Norton on a seam route running right down the hash. And, if you watch Morningside when they go fast, there's something to that, and I think it has something to do with their wristbands. The wristband doesn't change much from week to week, and thus, let's just say play number 17 on the wristband. If that's something they run a lot, they don't have to look at the wristband. But when they all look at the wristband, it slows them down. You know something brand new's coming. And right there, you saw him in a different formation. You saw Sims line up in the number 3 receiver spot, and then they motioned somebody across the field. So that was a new play. Maybe not a new play, but a new look to an old play.
Sure, and it ends up working for 63 yards for a Morningside first down. Midland was forced to call a timeout because, again, with the way Morningside speeding up the tempo, Bob, I don't think the Warriors were anywhere remotely close to being ready for that ball to be snapped on defense.
Well, I'm sure they're probably trying to sub some defensive linemen in after the long gain. So.
Well, while we have a little bit of time on the timeout, let's thank our sponsors bringing you Mustang football here each and every week. Sponsors like Absolute Screen Art, Bob Rose Point After, who is also one of the participants at Taste of Morningside after this contest, Bush Dry Cleaners, Dairy Queen, Drilling Pharmacy, and of course our pregame sponsor, Echo Electric, and Fazoli's. Great sponsors bringing you Mustang football here on KMNS. As we're ready to go on first and goal, Morningside of the Midland 8-yard line. Dalenchek in the gun. He has 2 receivers left, 1 receiver right. Dropped his mouthpiece, getting ready for the snap. And now they tried to get the Warriors to jump a little bit. They're going to adjust the play. Sims goes behind Dalenchek into the pistol. A handoff right side. Sims cuts back left, up the seam to the 5. And Sims picks up 3 yards on the carry right side. It's 2nd and goal.
Yeah, there you see the chess game of football right there. Before Morningside looked at the sideline, Midland was playing press coverage on the boundary and definitely man coverage down here. And then they looked over. Then they changed their coverage. Right now they're in man coverage.
2nd and goal. Out of the gun. Handoff Sims. Bounces off tackle right side. Carries the pile into the end zone for a Mustang touchdown. Sims has his 2nd score of the game, and it puts Morningside up by 3 scores. It's 20-0 on our People's Bank scoreboard.
Well, do you think they said we're going to run the ball better this week?
I would venture a guess that was the game plan for sure.
You see that early on. They're running the ball with some authority.
And no kidding, Anthony Sims is having himself a great game. 12 carries, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns already.
Yeah, that should be movement.
And, our umpire has that call right away. And so this will back up the point after kick. Coach Ryan throws his hands out. I don't know if he's mad at the player or he's mad at the call.
He's mad at the player because he definitely moved. Both the right guard and right tackle moved, and then those are penalties that just drive you crazy as a coach.
So instead of a 20-yard point after, this will be a 25-yard point after for Chase Carter. Off the hold of Caden Ladwig, snap spot, and Carter's kick is through the uprights and good. 12 minutes left to play before halftime. Morningside, 3rd ranked in the country, leads Midland on our People's Bank scoreboard 21-0. We'll get a break back in 30 seconds with the kickoff. You're listening to Mustang Football on the voice of Morningside Athletics, Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS, Sioux City. So we welcome you back to Elwood Olson Stadium here on the campus of Morningside University. Daniel Versteg alongside Bob Goodvin up in the booth. Nathan Hoagland is down on the sideline for us. We will check in with Nathan here in just a moment as Morningside takes a 21-0 lead over the Midland Warriors on our People's Bank scoreboard. Anthony Sims, a little 5-yard touchdown run, caps off a 6-play, 81-yard drive that took 2 minutes and 4 seconds off the clock. Ben Steffens boots this one high into the sky. It's fielded by Tremaine at the 5-yard line. Taken out 10, 15, 20, up the middle of the field, 25, and Tremaine gets a run down to the 27-yard line. Dalton Tremaine on the kick return sets up Midland 1st and 10 of their own 27. Let's check in with Nathan Hoagland. He's the third member of our crew down on the sideline. Nathan, what you got for us?
Yeah, one of the things to watch for on the next offensive drive for Morningside, I didn't see a problem with it, but apparently they want to work on a little more blocking because I don't know why.
Thank you very much. No, it's definitely not like that at all. Well, thank you very much, Nathan, for that update. You know, Coach Slichty demands the best out of his offensive line. There's a pass right side. Austin Harris makes the catch across the 30 to the 31 and then gets lit up by Jalen Portis. A pickup of 4 makes it 2nd and 6. Austin Harris, the senior tight end out of Omaha, Nebraska. Honorable mention all-conference pick last year as a tight end for the Warriors. A number of all-conference returners for this Midland football squad. And Midland now sets up 2nd and 6, down 3 touchdowns with 11:23 to play in the half. Here's Ashby in the gun, 2 receivers left. He gives it to Levi Markey outside the right hash across the 32, down at the 33. It's a pickup of 2. It's 3rd down and 4.
You see a new corner in the game right now for Morningside, number 6 down here, the near side corner. Devin Bradley, I believe.
Davion Bradley.
Davion
yep.
Bradley. Mm-hmm. And I would think Midland would recognize that and see if they can take advantage of him.
3rd down and 4 here. Warriors at their own 33-yard line. 2 receivers left, none right of Ashby in the gun. Tight end to the left side as well. That's Tremaine. Ashby drops back to throw, faces pressure, steps up in the pocket. He keeps it himself across the 35 and gets hit backwards hard. And they're going to give him the 37. It's going to be really close to a 1st down. What a hit, though. Oh, my goodness. We'll see where they spot this ball. That's going to be enough for a Midland 1st down. They just barely gave him enough at the 37.
Wow.
And Coach Ryan wants a measurement.
That's a generous spot.
That's a very generous spot. I think he definitely wants a measurement, and I wouldn't blame him there. I think a measurement would have been very interesting on that play. Doesn't even get a chance, though, and it's 1st and 10 at the Warrior 37. But Ashby took a shot. Portis absolutely lit him up for one of those tacklers anyway. 1st and 10 at the 37. As we've got a flag that blows this play dead. Delay game. Delay game. Yep, called by our back judge, and a 5-yard penalty is going to make it 1st down and 15 back to the 32. 9:58 left in the first half. Morningside 21, Midland nothing on our People's Bank scoreboard. Mustangs looking to make it 55 consecutive wins in Great Plains Athletic Conference regular season play. 2015, the last time the Mustangs lost a GPAC football game. 1st down and 15 of the Warrior 32. 2 receivers right, 1 receiver left. 2 men in the backfield, and out of the gun is Ashby. He gives it to Tremaine, who's stuck in the backfield. Now bounces it from the left side to the right side, gets across the 30. He's lucky to pick up a yard and gets brought down to the 33-yard line. A gain of 1 after all of that running from Dalton Tremaine. It's 2nd and 14.
And that's what we talked about in the pregame show, is how they move him around and get him the ball in different and creative ways. And that's a really good play by Portis, the Morningside linebacker, to come up, because if he doesn't make that play, there might have been some yards to be gained.
Also noticing out here in the backfield, Josh Miller, the safety, is back into the ball game. We haven't seen him all year. Lonell Boyd Jr. has been playing his safety position. Good to see JP back out there. 2nd down and 14. Ashby drops to throw. Pass over the middle. That one's well overthrown. And incomplete of the intended target, Colby Stevens. It's 3rd down and 14.
Midland brought the number 1 receiver on a shallow cross to the wide side there, and I think if he had to do over again, he would have threw him the ball because there's nobody left over there, and there would have been a big gain.
3rd down and 14 here for Midland. Ball at their own 33-yard line. Warriors just have been shut down the entire way offensively in this contest. As Ashby lines up 2 receivers left, 1 receiver right. Morningside brings a 6-man rush. Ashby has nowhere to go, throws it right sideline. That pass never got to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that should be grounding.
It should be intentional grounding, absolutely. He was out. He was not even out of the tackle box either. And our officials are going to talk about it. They'll probably throw the flag here late.
Yeah, that definitely should be grounding because, for one, there's no receiver remotely close to the play, and 2, he's in the box, and 3, the ball never got to the line of scrimmage. So.
I think he met every criteria of an intentional grounding penalty. Well, we'll see. Our 4 officials are talking about it, and there's the flag. There we go. Intentional grounding will be called. Kind of adds insult to injury on the play anyway. It would have easily resulted in a 4th down regardless, but it does impact where they're punting from because now they're punting basically from their own end zone here. So it's a spot of the ball's going to be spotted where the foul occurred, and they'll lose the down as well. So it's 4th down, and let's just call it a mile at the 19-yard line. I believe it's 4th down and 28.
I think if you went back and looked at that quarterback was throwing the ball from about the 14 or 15. So.
Here is Cole Lundy to boot this thing away. Schwagert back deep to return. We've got a flag on the play, and the Warriors jump for a false start. And so this punt is going to be backed up another 5 yards, and it's going to make it 4th down and 33.
Look at the punt block team from Morningside. Look how many guys are lined up outside the left or the right tackle for Midland. There's 4 guys lined up out here. And that's just because of that rugby punt. So they got 6 guys lined up on this side of the ball.
They only brought 1 of them, though, as Lundy sends a high spiraling kick. Schwagert's going to have to make an awkward fair catch in traffic. This one bounces away, and Morningside's return men just sprint away from that ball as Midland downs it at the 44-yard line. It's 1st and 10 for the Mustangs at their own 44. It looks a little silly, Bob, to have them run away from the football, but that's actually what you want them to do on the punt.
Absolutely. The punt return guy's got to yell poison or whatever the code is for get out of the way. Get the heck out of here. And I think that's what happened. Yes, they probably saw the ball, but they probably also heard poison.
Yep.
And that just tells you to scramble out of there.
I know that was Connor Niles' keyword when he was returning punts a few years ago here at Morningside. So,
yeah, there's usually 2 code words, and I don't want to say the second one. I don't know if it's appropriate.
That one's probably not safe for air. Here's 1st and 10, a handoff, sweeper on the left side. It's Mike Miner gets across midfield, and Miner on his first touch of the ball game gets into Midland territory. He's down to the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 16 and a 1st down for the Mustangs.
When shotgun teams, you can tell what play's coming or something off that play by the alignment of the back. When the back is even with the quarterback, it's outside zone or play action or power read. When he's deeper like he just was, it's inside zone or play action.
Here's the out route to the right side. Reed Juergensmeyer makes the catch, gets across the 35-30 and run out of bounds at the 25. 15 yards and another 1st down on the completion to Juergensmeyer.
But now realize that me and you are sitting up here pretty high on the 50-yard line, so it's easy for us to see it. It's not that easy for the defense to see it.
Under 8 minutes left in the half, 21-0 Mustangs on the People's Bank scoreboard. 5 receivers, an empty backfield for Joe Dolenchek. 2 receivers left, now 3 receivers right following the motion. Dolenchek a screen pass right side. Schwagert makes the grab, takes it down the right sideline across the 20. And he's out of bounds on the Midland side of the field at about the 18. 7 yards there for Schwagert. It's 2nd and 3.
The motion across the formation, nobody chased, so it told you it was man, and they're going to run that hash screen into the boundary at that point.
2nd down and 3 here for the Mustangs. Pistol set for Dolenchek. Warrior 18. Here's the handoff. Sims takes it right up the seam. 15-20. Juked around the defender and is into the end zone for a Mustang touchdown. What a move He just ran around the defender for 18 yards. His third rushing touchdown of the ball game. It's 27-0 in favor of Morningside on the People's Bank scoreboard.
What did we say in the pregame show? If there's any question about the Morningside's offense, it's whether they can run the football consistently. I think you can take some white out and take that question mark away.
Yep. That question's been answered, I have a feeling. Chase Carter has the point after try here. Hold by Ladwig. The kick is through the uprights, and it is good. 28-0 in favor of Morningside on our People's Bank scoreboard. 7:14 left before halftime, and it's all Mustangs. It's all Anthony Sims. He has 3 scores in the ball game. Morningside up by 4 touchdowns. We're back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to Mustang Football on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS, Sioux City. Welcome you back to Elwood Olson Stadium here in Sioux City, on the campus of Morningside University. Daniel Versteg alongside Bob Goodvin up in the booth. Nathan Hoagland down on the sideline. Just paid a visit by Mr. Commissioner himself, Corey Westra, Commissioner of the Great Plains Athletic Conference. Good to see him on campus here celebrating homecoming with Morningside. It's 28-0 in favor of the Mustangs on our People's Bank scoreboard. This kick from Ben Steffens is fielded at the 9-yard line by Tremaine. Taken outside left numbers 15, 20, 25. And Tremaine is brought down to the 27-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Warriors at their own 27. And, well, let's see. Let's see if we can track down the third member of our crew. Nathan Hoagland is roaming the sideline for us here this afternoon. And, Nathan, what kind of things are you spotting down there for us?
Yeah, we're trying to figure out how many records could potentially be broke today, with Bessie being at 2 picks and AP with 3 rushing TDs already.
Yeah, that's a good start already. Anthony Sims with 3 rushing touchdowns. Yeah, Drew Bessie 2 picks. Thanks for that update, Nathan. We'll see how you do with figuring that out, as we have a carry here for Midland across the 30 to the 31. Just to the 30-yard line. Pickup of 3 makes it 2nd and 7. I'll help you out here on the interceptions.
I was just going to tell you, you're the statistical savant, so I know this is coming.
I will say Drew Bessie is 1 interception away from tying the single-game program record. He needs 4 to break the record, a record that's been hit a number of times, 3 interceptions in a game. Here is Tremaine with the carry right side, and Josh Miller, welcome back to the football field, absolutely decks Tremaine at the 32-yard line. That's a pickup of 2, and it's 3rd and 5.
There they lined Tremaine up at quarterback and ran quarterback read with him. So, again, just a little creativity by the Midland offense, but better execution by the Morningside or the Midland offense. Better execution by the Morningside defense.
And Mr. Mark Adkins is helping us here with our sports information, the director here at Morningside. He's got the rushing record. 5 rushing touchdowns is the record here for Morningside. So we'll keep an eye on those stats here. It's 3rd down and 5.
Swing.
Ashby swings it out left side and well overthrows Dalton Tremaine, and incomplete. He had 3 men chasing him as he was backing up there. It's 4th down and 5 following that incompletion. Here comes the punting team.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
But I just saw the swing so wide open that if he hits him, he might have scored.
Yeah, no kidding.
Morningside brought pressure, and sometimes the linebackers told to peel off when the back swings, and nobody peeled off, and he was wide open.
He just airmailed him.
Yes, he did.
Quite a bit, actually. And that's that coach in you, you got to yell to your players.
Yeah, on another night I'm sitting 1 box over saying the same thing.
Here's 4th and 5, punting unit Cole Lundy, ready to boot this thing away. What a good kick, a high spiraler. Schwagert backs up to his own 15 to field it. Now he has a return, 25-30, 35 left sideline, 40. Dances down the sideline and is out of bounds before the 45. And a great return for Schwagert, taking it from inside his own 20 across the 40 to the 43. It's 1st down and 10 here for the Mustangs at their own 44.
I love that kid. He plays the game with an attitude. I just love how he plays.
You know, Coach Ryan, I wasn't expecting as quite a long answer that Coach Ryan gave me. He gave me about a 2-minute answer about special teams when I asked him about Jared Quinones. And he talked about Dalton Tremaine as being a great kick returner, which he is. Tremaine was a first-team all-conference kick returner, second-team all-conference punt returner last year. And, of course, Caleb Schwager, first-team all-conference punt returner. We've got quite the battle of return men here in this contest. It's 1st and 10 for the Mustangs at their own 44. Dalenchek empties the backfield. 3-step drop out of the gun. Rifles it over the middle. It's caught by Norton on a crossing route across the 35-30. Left sideline 25-20. Pushed out of bounds inside the red zone. Across the 15 down to the 14. It'll be 1st and 10 there for the Mustangs into the red zone on the great catch by Norton.
They motion the tailback out, and the tailback's sitting on the sideline. He's wide open. I mean, it's just amazing how many guys can run wide open every play.
5:15 left in the half. 28-zip Mustangs. Here's a handoff. Cole out of the gun, tried to sweep left side, and he gets tackled across the 15 to the 13. A 2-yard gain. Cash Nichols makes the stop. It's 2nd and 8. Mustangs up 28-0 on our People's Bank scoreboard with under 5 minutes to play before the first half concludes. And coming up at halftime, we'll take a look at the first half stats. We'll also take a look at the scores from around the Great Plains Athletic Conference, all coming up at halftime. 2nd down and 8 here for Dalenchek, a receiver on either side. Sims flips it back on our end around. Right side, Schwager looking for the block to the 10 to the 5. Juked away from the defender and gets in for a Mustang touchdown. Caleb Schwager took the pitch from Sims, reversed it back right side, and gets in for a 13-yard score to put the Mustangs up 34-0 on the People's Bank scoreboard.
A lot of times when teams come off bye weeks, they have time to draw up plays like that, and I think that's what happened one morning in the coach's office.
Well,
they just ran out a reverse off the outside zone.
Coach Ryan did say he was going to rest his guys a little bit more. That probably was maybe a code word as saying we're going to drop some more plays for our playbook here. As a point after kick for Chase Carter to try and put the cherry on top, and he does. Point after kick through the uprights and good. 35-zip, Morningside all over Midland on homecoming on our People's Bank scoreboard. 4:32 left in the first half. We're back with more Mustang football after this 30-second break. You're listening to Mustang football on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS, Sioux City. We welcome you back to Elwood Olson Stadium up in the Irving and Carolyn Jensen press box. Daniel Versteg alongside current East High offensive coordinator Bob Goodvin. Nathan Hoagland down on the sideline. 4 minutes and 32 seconds left before halftime. The Mustangs lead the Warriors 35-0 on our People's Bank scoreboard. And Caleb Schwager with the 13-yard reverse run around the right side caps off a 3-play, 56-yard drive, 1 minute and 2 seconds of time of possession. This is a pooch kick, and it's fielded inside the 35-yard line at the 34 for Midland, and that'll be Jordell Lacey on that fair catch at the 34. Midland gets some good field position off that pooch kick. 1st and 10 for the Warriors. So Midland's offense comes out there and down 35-0. It's just been next to impossible for the Warriors to get anything going offensively, as right now the Warriors have a grand total of 42 yards of offense. Here's 1st and 10 for Midland. Tremaine motions in the backfield. Ashby gives it up the middle. This is Levi Markey looking to bounce off tackle right side. Not much doing there. He bounced off a couple of defenders, gets brought down to the 35. Gain of 1. Makes it 2nd down and 9. It's just been next to impossible, Bob, for them to get anything going on offense.
Well, I'm just watching the linebacker play of Morningside. The middle linebacker he's about 6 yards deep, and normally linebackers are about 4 yards deep, but now he's moving up, but that just gives him freedom to run, and right there.
2nd and 9, a pass left side, overthrown and incomplete. Looking for Omari Garcia on that left side. Davion Bradley on the coverage. 3rd down and 9, and like you said, Wingert running free was in the quarterback's grill on that pass. So it's 3rd down and 9 here for the Warriors. 3:48 left to play before halftime. Again, we'll take a look at stats and scores around the conference coming up at halftime, as Midland looks to avoid going 3-3 on the year.
Right now, Morningside's in a nickel defense. They have Josh Miller in at safety. They took out one of the linebackers, it looks like. Or one of the
linemen.
Defensive linemen, yeah.
Here's Ashby, a collapsing pocket, throws toward the left sideline and throws it wide of his intended target. Omari Garcia, and incomplete. Again, Bradley on the coverage. It's 4th down and 9, and again, the punting unit comes out for Midland.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Daniel. They're in their 3-man front right now and dropping 8 in coverage.
We don't see Morningside go into a nickel formation a whole lot.
No, I would venture to say it's because their linebackers are athletic enough that they don't have to do that.
Sure. Well, that was an interesting look, and yeah, they took a defensive lineman out. Here's the punt from Cole Lundy. He runs to his right, sends a high spiraling kick, and Schwagert fair catches this one right at the 20-yard line. Midland had a runner up in his face. As Schwagert fair catches at the 20. Morningside's going to get another chance to score here before halftime with 3:34 left. 1st and 10 starting at their own 20.
3 minutes is an eternity for the
Yes.
Morningside offense. I mean, it's literally no factor at all, and you can start them on the 1-inch line if you want.
I mean, you could argue with Morningside's offense and Morningside's defense, Morningside could realistically get 2 scores before halftime if they really wanted to.
You're absolutely right.
So here is Morningside on offense, emptying the backfield. 1st and 10 from the 20. Dolenchek with 3 receivers left, 2 receivers right. A belt high snap, 3-step drop. Dolenchek throws over the middle. Passes overthrown of Schwagert and incomplete. I think Caleb was trying to embellish a pass interference call maybe a little bit. Doesn't get it. It's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, his theatrical skills weren't good enough to draw that. That was pretty good coverage. But, Coach Ryan in the pregame show made a great point. In practice, when they go ones-on-ones, both sides of the ball seeing maybe the best you're going to see all year, and that's a great advantage for Morningside.
2nd and 10 of the 20, pistol set, handoff up the middle. This is Sims getting 4 yards to the 24, makes it 3rd down and 6. And, it's a point that not many people think of, but practices for Morningside are the best competition they'll see 9 times out of 10 during the season.
And, there are definitely scout team periods where there's a scout team running the other team's stuff, but there's also periods where you're running your own stuff and it's one-on-one. Let's compete.
3rd down and 6, 2 receivers on either side. Dolenchek out of the gun under 3 minutes and a half. Drops back to throw, steps up, pass over the right seam. That's caught. Zach Norton makes a great adjustment, falling backwards, has the catch at the 33 for a 9-yard gain and moves the chains with 1st and 10.
That's another really good catch by a Morningside receiver with their hands. I mean, that's
sweep left side. Sims broke a tackle. 35-40 up the numbers, and he has 10 yards to the 43. It's 1st and 10, and like you said, that pass was behind Norton, and the only thing he could do was reach his hands out, make that catch.
Well, a couple of weeks ago when I said, that Morningside does such a good job of catching the ball with their hands, my wife questioned me when I got home. She said, well, how else are you supposed to catch the ball? And I said, well, some people try to catch it with their body, and it doesn't work. And some people try to catch it with their hands in the wrong position, and it just doesn't work.
That is a good question, Bob.
Yeah.
How else do you catch the football? It's 1st and 10, though, as Well, we welcome you back to Elwood Olson Stadium. We apologize for our little technical difficulties there, but we are back. And, we just missed a first down play. Schweigert dropping a long pass down the left sideline on the throw by Dolenchek. It's 2nd and 10. Trips right, play action, pass over the middle, caught by Juergensmeyer. Gets across midfield, and he is tackled forward across the marker to the Midland 46-yard line. 11 yards makes it 1st and 10.
That is an RPO right there, where the quarterback is reading a second-level defender, whether to run the ball or pass the ball, depending on what that second-level defender does.
Dolenchek out of the gun, has 2 receivers left, 1 receiver right, takes a helmet-high snap, gives it up the middle. Ryan Cole lowers his shoulder, lays a hard hit to the Midland defender, and gets brought down to the 43. That's a pickup of 3, and it's 2nd and 7. With 1:48 left before halftime, Morningside up 35-0 over Midland University on our People's Bank scoreboard. 2nd down and 7 here for the Mustangs. 2 receivers stacked on either side. Out of the gun, handoff Sims right up the seam across the 40, 35, and he's tackled there at the 35-yard line. Pickup of 8, and another first down for Morningside.
Yeah, Morningside lines up and stacks their receivers like they did last time, and Midland only warrants that stack with 1 defender. I look for a quick hash screen out to the stack side.
There's a give to Sims. Jukes away from a defender. 25. Tackled short of the red zone of the 22. 13-yard carry right up the middle for Anthony Sims. It's 1st and 10. And a Midland Warrior is slow to get up on the play. As with 1:10 to play before halftime, Morningside holding a 35-0 lead on the People's Bank scoreboard. This is Christian Rodriguez, the junior from Gilroy, California. Slow to get up on the play here for Midland following the 13-yard carry by Anthony Sims. And, while we have a little bit of time, I do want to check in on Anthony's stat line here. And, we talked about Morningside's difficulties running the ball the first couple of weeks, and they were able to get it going a little bit against Mount Marty, but still probably not to the level Coach Ryan would have liked it. I'd say they're probably at that level now. Anthony Sims has 17 carries, 132 yards, and 3 rushing touchdowns. Already, Anthony Sims is 110 yards from moving to 4th all-time on the Morningside career rushing yards list. And he's 4 touchdowns away from tying Brandon Weger for 3rd all-time on the career touchdowns list as well. So some records, or at least some milestones in the sight for Sims. 1st and 10 of the Warrior 22 as they get Rodriguez off the field. A play action, Dolenchek pump fakes, faces pressure, pass left side looking for Josh Simmons. Is incomplete, wide of the target. It's 2nd down and 10.
Now, that's a really good play by Joe Dolenchek there. His number 1 read wasn't there, and instead of scrambling around and taking a loss or throwing the ball up for grabs, he just throws the ball out of bounds. And what you say in the quarterback room is you live to play again right there. Yep.
I got an eligible man downfield. Is that what the call is?
Yeah, because it was an RPO, and as soon as Joe doesn't throw the ball right away, those linemen are going to be downfield.
Jason Hallbeck was the left tackle on the play. He gets called for that ineligible man downfield.
Yeah, that's an impossible play for him, though. I mean, because he's running a running play. He's thinking they're running the ball, and as soon as Joe doesn't throw that ball right away, he's going to be downfield.
Well, now 1st and 15 here for the Mustangs at the Warrior 27. Midland trying to keep Morningside out of the end zone one final time before half. Dolenchek drops back to throw. 4 receivers going out. He dumps it off into the flats to the 5th guy, Anthony Sims. Outside the right numbers, gets tackled in the open field at the 25-yard line. Gain of 2. Makes it 2nd and 13 and a timeout from Coach Steve Ryan and Morningside University. Timeout on the field from Coach Ryan. We'll take a timeout with Coach Ryan as well. 2nd and 13 upcoming for the Mustangs. 50 seconds left in the half. Back in 30. You're listening to Mustang Football on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS Sioux City. And we welcome you back to Elwood Olson Stadium. Daniel Versteg, Bob Goodvin up in the booth, Nathan Hoagland down on the sideline. 50 seconds left in the first half of this contest. Morningside up on Midland, 35-0 on the People's Bank scoreboard. Morningside using their first of 3 timeouts. And we'll now get ready for a 2nd down and 13 from the Warrior 25-yard line as Joe Dolenchek sends 3 receivers out there, 2 to his left, 1 to his right. Sione Tuifua, the tight end on the right side of the line of scrimmage. From the right hash, Dolenchek, a shoulder-high snap, drops back to throw toward the right side, passes wide of Tuifua and incomplete. Takes a hit from Crash Woodle as well. Incompletion makes it 3rd and 13.
I think Midland had the perfect defense called right there. The safety came down into the flat post-snap, and that's exactly where Morningside tried to throw the ball. And there's no way Dolenchek was going to see that.
Well, Midland's got their safeties almost 15 yards away from the ball right now. 3rd down and 13 here for the Mustangs. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Dolenchek motions Sims out of the backfield to the left side as a wide receiver. Belt high snap, Dolenchek to throw over the left side. It's caught by Norton, and Zach is stood up short of the marker at the 13. It's going to be 4th and 1 for the Mustangs now into the red zone.
Yeah, I'd say a timeout's coming. Yep,
just shy of the marker. It's going to be 4th and 1, and I'll see what Coach Ryan draws up here. While Coach Ryan and the Mustangs talk about that on the second timeout of the half, let's throw it down to the 3rd member of our crew, Nathan Hoagland. Yeah, you do have to get the microphone out of your pocket now, Nathan. Let's see what Nathan's got to say down there. Nathan, what you got?
Yeah, one thing I've been watching on this drive, they were talking about just when they do that motion, when it's the tight end who's then going to block. They were talking to Tuifua in particular, just, selling whether, I'm trying to think of how to phrase it now, selling his ability to either go out or block and not make it obvious which one.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Nathan. Yeah, and that talks about what you've been mentioning a number of times, Bob, is the defense buying what Sione's selling there on that motion play. It's a crucial part of why they motion.
Well, you motion for one of 4 reasons. 1, you're doing it to see coverage. 2, you're doing it to gain leverage, outnumber them. Or 3, you do it to just get a simple numbers game.
Sure.
But or get their eyes in the wrong place, I should say. And so every motion has a purpose, believe it or not.
4th down and 1 here for the Mustangs. Midland 13. Midland stacks the box with 8. Handoff up the middle. Sims has 1st down across the 10 to the 5. Dances away from another defender and gets in for his 4th rushing touchdown of the game. From 13 yards out, Anthony Sims puts the Mustangs up 41-0 on the People's Bank scoreboard.
That looked like that play they call Copper or Penny, and where they just wrap the backside guard either to kick somebody out on the line of scrimmage or wrap him on the play side linebacker. And that time he kicked somebody out, so that meant they got a call from the tackle or tight end there that they had an extra guy on the line of scrimmage.
That is 4 rushing touchdowns for Anthony Sims, and Chase Carter's point after kick is through the uprights. And good. 1 more for Sims would tie him with Brandon Wager for the program record of rushing touchdowns in a game. It's 42-0. Morningside all over Midland. 22 seconds before halftime. We'll take a break. We're back in 30 seconds with a kickoff. You're listening to Mustang Football on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS, Sioux City. We welcome you back to Elwood Olson Stadium here on the campus of Morningside University. Daniel Versteg, Bob Goodvin up in the booth, Nathan Hoagland down on the sideline. 22 seconds left before the halftime break. Morningside up 42-0 on Midland University on our People's Bank scoreboard. Anthony Sims finishing off a 13-play, 79-yard drive, taking 3 minutes and 12 seconds off the clock. as Sims gets into the end zone for the 4th time today. And this kick by Carter is caught and kneeled down in the end zone for a touchback from Darren Gentry. Midland will start this drive at their own 25-yard line. So, well, Anthony Sims is already on the doorstep of the single-game rushing touchdown record. We were taking a look at that in the break, and Mark Adkins has also informed me that Brandon Wager's the only other Morningside runner in program history to eclipse 4 touchdowns in a game. He had 5 twice, once against Concordia in 2014 and once against Doane 2 weeks later. That's pretty impressive numbers there for Wager. Handoff up the middle. This goes to Markey. Picks up 3 yards to the 28, and that will probably take us into the locker room. With our score, third-ranked Morningside 42, Midland nothing on our People's Bank scoreboard. The Mustangs put up 28 second-quarter points and are rolling the Warriors here at halftime on Homecoming 2021. Again, our score, 42-0. Morningside all over Midland on the People's Bank scoreboard. We'll get a break in when we come back. We take a look at stats from the first half, take a look at scores from around the Great Plains Athletic Conference. Coach Ryan will give some thoughts to Nathan. We'll check in with those coming up at halftime as well. It's halftime again, 42-0. Morningside leads Midland on our People's Bank scoreboard. We're back after this break with our halftime coverage. Back in 4 minutes on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS, Sioux City.
This time, Morningside University Band Club recognizes the 7-member class of the 2020-2021 was inducted into the Athletic Hall of Fame earlier today. Coach Dan Callahan led the Morningside men's basketball program from 1973 to 1986. The men's team served some outstanding days with him at the helm, producing 6 500 or better marks, including back-to-back 20-plus wins in seasons 1982-83 and 1983-84. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Callahan. For the Department coordinator for 23 years,
We welcome you back to our halftime coverage here from Elwood Olson Stadium on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS Sioux City. Also on the iHeartRadio app and 620KMNS.com. It's halftime. Daniel Versteg, Bob Goodvin up in the booth. Nathan Hoagland down on the sideline. Our score is 42-0 in favor of Morningside University on our People's Bank scoreboard. And, well, currently taking place, the players being inducted into or the people being inducted into the M Club Hall of Fame. And let's see, I think we have 6 of the 7 down there. I'm not quite sure who we're missing, unfortunately, but we've got a good number of them down there. Of course, Dan Callahan, former men's basketball coach, is down there. He led the Mustangs, or the Chiefs, excuse me, to that NCAA Division II Final Four berth back in the 80s. And Dan Callahan down there being inducted. Cheryl Gamble, athletic administrator, is being inducted as well. And then the athletes that are being inducted, Chad Husted, class of 2008 football player. Tim McCabe, class of 1988, also a football player. Whitney McElrath-Lloyd, the class of 2008 softball player. Boy, what a pitcher she was. Winning a school record 92 games at Morningside over her softball career. Jack Rother, a 2008 men's basketball grad, and Chris Schultz, class of 1998, baseball player, 3-time All-North Central Conference outfielder, and one of the best hitters in program history as well. .420 was his career batting average with 212 hits, 49 doubles. He had 151 RBIs, and he held 5 career categories when he career record categories when he graduated Morningside baseball. So, and they're now getting a great big round of applause here from the fans at Morningside football, this Morningside football contest. So, good to see them all back on campus, and glad they can be inducted in the M Club Hall of Fame, and now getting some handshakes from Morningside President John Reinders, who is honoring the men and women being inducted into the M Club Hall of Fame here in this contest. And I think that's Tim McCabe chatting it up with Rick Niles. I believe they were former teammates back in the 80s here at Morningside. So good to see all that all that chatter and all the fun stuff going on around homecoming. Outside of the football game, of course, the football game is important, but getting those people inducted in the M Club, another important part of homecoming here at Morningside. Again, it's halftime with the Mustangs leading the Warriors 42-0 on our People's Bank scoreboard. Well, let's take a look at how we got to this point. We'll start with that first drive. Reed Juergensmeyer with a 21-yard touchdown reception from Joe Dutlinchek made it 7-0 early. Then late in the first quarter, Anthony Sims got going on a 21-yard touchdown run, capping off a 6-play, 57-yard drive. It was 14-0 Morningside at the end of a quarter. Then 28 points scored in quarter number 2. Anthony Sims, a 5-yard touchdown run. Then an 18-yard touchdown run. And Caleb Schwagert added a 13-yard reverse around the right side. And Sims tacked on a 13-yard run at the end of the first half. That is 28 points in one quarter of football. A dominant performance so far through a half of football. It's 42-0 in favor of the Mustangs. Let's take a look at the team stats. Morningside has 493 yards of total offense. That is 311 through the air, 182 on the ground. The Mustangs have picked off Midland twice. The Mustangs have also lost a fumble. That's the only turnover for Morningside in this one. Mustangs are 2 of 4 on third down and have not failed a fourth down conversion yet. Morningside is 4 of 5 in the red zone, and they have 15 and a half minutes of time of possession. For Midland, 41 yards of total offense. That is 12 through the air, 29 on the ground. It has been a dominant first half for the Mustang defense. Morningside has been penalized 4 times for 30 yards, Midland 3 times for 15, and the Warriors are 2 of 8 on their third down conversions. Individual numbers here, Morningside led in the passing game by Joe Dolinchek. He has 16 completions, 21 attempts for 262 yards and a touchdown. And you can't forget Reed Jurgensmeyer making a big contribution to the passing game. He's 1 of 1 for 49 yards. Running the football is Anthony Sims. 18 carries, 145 rushing yards, and 4 rushing touchdowns. Caleb Schwagert has a 13-yard touchdown run on the ground as well, and Michael Miner had 16 yards on 1 carry. Zach Norton is leading the way receiving. He has 7 catches, 197 yards. The only receiving score is Ray Jurgensmeyer, 5 catches, 77 yards, and a touchdown. Chase Carter is a perfect 6 of 6 on point afters, but missed the only field goal he has attempted. And let's see, 2 interceptions for Drew Bessie. That's the big one there. Bessie had 2 interceptions in the first quarter. He could have had 3 very easily had it not been for a defensive pass interference call. In the tackle game, Tyler Wingert has 4, Cooper Von Segern has 4, and so does Jalen Portis. A sack for Von Segern and Zach Keller lead the way in that category. 1.5 tackles for loss for Cooper Von Segern leads the way for the Mustangs there. From Midland offensively, Jake Ashby. He is 2 of 9 passing the football for 12 yards and 2 interceptions. He's found Amari Garcia and Austin Harris each 1 time. Kenneth Carr is a carry for 7 yards. Dalton Tremaine, 7 carries, 16 yards. Levi Markey, 7 carries, 15 yards. Just not much to speak of here on the offensive side of the football from Midland. Leading the way defensively, Christian Rodriguez has 8 tackles. Travis Voigt has 7 tackles. And again, there's really nothing to speak of there. The forced fumble caused by a couple of Midland Warriors, so nobody's getting any solo credit for it. This has just been, I will say this has been unexpected here, Bob. We talked about leading up to this contest that Midland had beaten Dordt in a big way. They lost their non-conference game by 2 points, and they took Northwestern to overtime. And here we are at halftime with Morningside up 42 points. Either that says, it could say both things, but Morningside is a much more superior football team than Northwestern and Dordt, or 2, Midland was not ready for this contest. I'm not sure what it says, but Morningside's been rolling here in the first half.
Well, it's just look at one stat other than 42 to nothing. Look at 46 plays for 493 yards. I mean, that's what, 11 yards a play?
10.7, yeah.
So, I mean, if you're a defensive guy, pretty soon you're going to start suffering post-traumatic stress. I mean, they're just coming at you in waves, and there's no way to stop them. So.
Is there no way to stop them? There's no way Midland can come up with anything here?
I don't know what you saw in the first half that make you think there is. I mean, they're just so versatile. I mean, it's beyond words almost.
Sure. I mean, this is one of the more lopsided first half. This is the most lopsided first half I think we've had this year yet. It's been a while since we've had just an offensive output like this from Morningside, to the tune of 500 yards in the first half, and it's not like they're just chucking long balls, Bob. They're getting their ground game going. They're getting their pass game going, short and long passing routes. Like you said, so versatile in the first half.
Yep, and then 500 yards for a game is an awfully good game.
Yeah.
I mean, and they have it at a half. And, the one thing I try never to do is compare scores, because all you're going to do is drive yourself crazy there.
Sure.
There's no explanation as to why things like that happen. But I'm telling you, this Morningside offense is, I don't care what level of football you're talking about, it might be the best offense I've ever seen in my life. Yep.
And you mean that sincerely,
I
too?
do.
Yeah.
I mean that 100% sincerely.
Yeah.
Hey, who stopped them? Tell me a team that has stopped them.
That's true.
And tell me one in 10 years that have stopped them. And let's define stopping by scoring 30 points. Who's held them less than 30 points?
St. Francis of Indiana, probably. That's about it.
And it probably was about a 10 below zero day,
Right.
and the wind was blowing.
Grandview a couple of years ago.
Yep.
That's about it.
Yeah, I still remember that day.
Yeah. Yep. Well, you're talking about that Grandview
Oh, yeah,
game.
okay,
Yeah. But 2 years ago when they came here, the Morningside
you're right.
only put up 21. But you make a very good point. Yeah. Even national championship games.
Yes.
The
Yes.
second best team in the country, theoretically. Morningside scored 35 against Benedictine and about 40 plus on Marion. I mean, it's
Yeah, if you define stopping them by holding them less than 30 points, you might as well stand out in a lightning storm. You got a better chance of getting hit by lightning.
No, absolutely. It's been it's so impressive to watch. And, I don't know how much of it we're going to see here in the second half again. Probably a lot of the starters will be out by that point, but we'll see what happens. First half of action, Morningside all over Midland, 42-0, and Morningside well on their way to their 55th straight conference win in regular season play. Let's see if we can check in with the third member of our crew, Nathan Hoagland, down on the sideline. I know Nathan was able to get a few words in from Coach Ryan that he's going to relay to us. Nathan, what did Coach Ryan say to you?
Yeah, he really just emphasized that you can't turn the ball over again. He doesn't care what the score is. That's just a standard, is you can't turn the ball over. And he also said that they might be a little more ready for this game because they had a really hard practice Friday after not practicing Thursday.
Oh, interesting. That's something he didn't mention to me on our pregame. Thank you very much, Nathan, for that. And, I guess we're at a point where we can be really nitpicky with Morningside, and Coach Ryan is very nitpicky with his team, obviously. That's why they're so successful. But, yeah, the two fumbles that we've seen from Morningside, Bob, may raise a couple of eyebrows, especially once you start getting late in the season.
Yeah, that's there's the one telling stat about any game in football is the turnovers. And if you turn the ball over, you just increase your chance of losing the game greatly. And so every coach in America at every level stresses don't turn the ball over.
The Mustangs have done that once. Midland's done it twice. Morningside's on a fumble. Midland's on a couple of interceptions. Let's get a quick break in. When we come back, we'll take a look at the Great Plains Athletic Conference scoreboard. 4 GPAC games going on around the conference. We'll have those scores for you coming up in 1 minute. You're listening to Mustang Football at halftime on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS, Sioux City.
Cruz, Marissa Hernandez, Lincoln Larson, Paige Moose, Freya Jane Keltzer, Laura Steffen, Colin Thimes, Anna Stock, and Katie Kirby. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the pride of Morningside.
We welcome you back to Elwood Olson Stadium at the top of the Irving and Carolyn Jensen press box. One of the best views for football in all of the area. I will say it's the best view for football, right at the 50-yard line at a great height. As Morningside leads Midland University at halftime 42-0 on our People's Bank scoreboard. All right, let's take a look at the scoreboards around the Great Plains Athletic Conference in Crete, Nebraska today. Doane University holds on to a 24-13 lead over the University of Jamestown. 2:49 to play in the third quarter. Vaughn Martinez has 158 yards passing, a passing touchdown and 2 interceptions. Also has a rushing touchdown in there. Cade Torgerson for the Jimmies has 2 passing touchdowns. And let's see, 1 to Isaiah Roebuck and 1 to Stevie Justice. That's been his favorite target. But both quarterbacks have thrown 2 interceptions in this game for Doane and Jamestown. Again, the Tigers lead the Jimmies 24-13. This contest in Seward today. It is Concordia all over Dakota Wesleyan, 27-0, 12:05 left in the fourth quarter. The Bulldogs, DJ McGarvey, 14 for 19, 210 yards and 3 passing touchdowns. Garrett Shart, Art Anderson, and Luke Lang have been doing that in this contest. And McGarvey also has a rushing touchdown. Nothing going for Keel Nelson on the Dakota Wesleyan offense. They trail the Bulldogs 27-0 in quarter number 4. Second-ranked Northwestern is taking it to Mount Marty at Crane Youngworth Field in the third quarter. Red Raiders lead the Lancers 42-17. And, something that, I was told anyway that Tyson Koima would be coming back. He's been practicing for the Red Raiders, but evidently Blake Fryer is going to get another game here. There's no reason to put Tyson Koima out there against a winless Mount Marty squad, but Koima is very close, I believe, to being back to full health. Blake Fryer, though, is 18 of 25 passing, 256 yards and 3 touchdowns. Connor McQuillan has 100 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Receiving the football, Cade Mosier, Michael Story, and Blake Anderson all have receiving touchdowns as the Red Raiders lead the Lancers 42-17 in the third. Over at Memorial Field, just across town, Briar Cliff looking for their second win in a row, taking on Hastings, and the Chargers lead 20-14 in the third quarter. Play of freshman quarterback Luke Davies, 14 of 21 for 194 yards and a touchdown. Asante Anglin has 55 yards rushing in this one. And touchdowns for Tim Brown receiving and Craigor Clark. Hastings quarterback John Zamora has a touchdown, 165 passing yards, and a rushing touchdown for Tyree Neesmith. That is your first half of the contest and your halftime coverage. Our score, Morningside 42, Midland nothing. We'll take a quick 1-minute break. We'll come back. We'll start the second half after this on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS, Sioux City. All right, welcome you back to Elwood Olson Stadium. Start of the second half. Daniel Versteg, Bob Goodvin with you. Dalton Tremaine on his kick return to open up the second half was kind of wrapped up and looked like he was going to be brought down to the 15. He just kind of squirmed out of there, gets to the 38-yard line. That's a good return for Tremaine. It's 1st and 10 for the Warriors. They start with good field position here, Bob.
Yeah, that's an excellent return.
So the Warriors will try and get something going offensively. Again, it's been a struggle, to say the least. The Warriors with only 41 yards of total offense in the first half and have been shut down in a big way. Here is Jake Ashby in the gun. 2 receivers left, 1 right. 3-step drop, throws toward the left sideline, and that pass is overthrown. Incomplete. Kenneth Carr III was there for the reception. Jamal Jones on the coverage knocks it away. 2nd and 10.
That you kind of question what the quarterback's looking at right there, because the corner is standing inside the receiver waiting for the football to come. I mean, he's not reading any defenders at that point, I promise you that. If he is, he doesn't see them.
Yeah, he's out in la-la land there thinking Kenneth was open. 2nd down and 10 here for the Warriors at their own 38. 3 receivers left, 1 right after motioning a man in the backfield, Tremaine. They motion him back out to the left side. Screen pass left side. Tremaine gets blown up. Drew Bessie brings him down behind the 35-yard line of the 34. That's a loss of 4. It's 3rd and 14, and boy, the Mustang defense read that play like a book.
Yeah, they're just all over it. I mean, they brought him in motion, sent him back out, and threw the swing route to him, and the linebacker just read it all the way and was sitting right on it.
So 3rd down and a mile here for a Warrior squad that has gone 2 of 8 on their 3rd down tries to this point in the ball game. It's going to be 3rd down and 14 here for the Warriors at their own 34. They started with good field position following the kick return, but have now shot themselves in the foot, losing 5 on that play. Here's Ashby dropping that back to throw with 6 on the blitz, and a great catch across the 48-yard line for 14 yards and a 1st down. That's Omari Garcia picking up just enough for the 1st down yardage.
Yeah, Morningside started the half in their 3-man front, their nickel defense, and now they're switching back to their base defense. But on the last play, you could tell a blitz was coming because Barrett, who's the nose guard, head up to the center. He was about 2 yards off the ball, so you know he's moving one way and a linebacker's coming another way when they do that.
1st down and 10, Midland 48-yard line. They move the chains, convert the 3rd down. Here's a 5-man Mustang rush. Handoff up the middle, Levi Markey. And Markey gets across midfield. That's Dalton Tremaine picking up 3 yards to the Morningside 49-yard line. It's 2nd down and 7.
They brought Cooper Von Sagern, the outside linebacker, off the boundary edge, the edge closest to us right here, and he makes the tackle on the other side of the formation. That's how athletic he is.
Great play, keeping Tremaine from making anything happen. 2nd down and 7. They put Tremaine in the backfield again. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Midland in Morningside territory. 4-man Mustang rush. Ashby drops back to throw. Over the middle. Leaping grab is made. Kenneth Carr the third down inside the 30. He's brought down to the 26. That's a pickup of 23 and a 1st down for Midland.
Yeah, it looks like Midland's having a little bit of success all of a sudden running some dig routes and getting deep enough behind the linebackers but in front of the safeties.
So 1st and 10. Midland now deeper into Morningside territory at the 26. Ashby 2 left, 1 right. Hands it off up the middle. Tremaine has nowhere to go as Barrett brings him down for a loss of a yard to the 27. It'll be 2nd down and 11 for the Warriors of the Mustang 27.
Barrett made the tackle, but it was Carter Anderson who disrupted the play. I mean, he got so much penetration that the back had to stop and cut back when he didn't want to, and he cut right back into Barrett.
11:55 left in the 3rd quarter. Morningside up 42-0 on Midland on our People's Bank scoreboard. Here's Ashby in the gun. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Motions Tremaine out of the backfield to the left side. Pump fakes the screen. He's looking to throw deep over the left sideline. Jones in coverage. Kenneth Carr makes a leaping grab, and he's into the end zone for a Warrior touchdown. Kenneth Carr the third has his 5th receiving touchdown of the year, and Midland breaks that goose egg on the scoreboard. It's 42-6. Morningside leads.
And you remember in the pregame show, Coach Ryan talked about eyes and eye discipline, and right what happened right there, the corner just totally lost where the receiver was, and there was a kind of a back shoulder fade, so to speak, and the receiver had no idea where he's at because he lost eye contact.
Well, and that leads to a touchdown. Midland gets on the scoreboard for the first time in this contest. And now a point after try here from 3-time Conference Player of the Week, Jared Quinones. And Quinones boots that one through the uprights and good. 42-7, Morningside up on Midland. 11:39 left in the 3rd quarter. A good drive for the Warriors, converting a big 3rd down early on and getting a big play as well. We're back after this break. 30-second break. You're listening to Mustang Football on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS, Sioux City. We welcome you back to Elwood Olson Stadium here in Sioux City on the campus of Morningside University. Daniel Versteg, Bob Goodvin with you up in the booth. Nathan Hoagland down on the sideline. We'll check in with Nathan here in just a moment after the kickoff. 11:39 left to play in the 3rd quarter as Morningside, 3rd ranked in the country, leads Midland 42-7 on our People's Bank scoreboard. A touchdown completion from Jake Ashby to Kenneth Carr III, 27 yards out. Caps off a 7-play, 62-yard drive. Took 3 minutes and 21 seconds off the clock. And now Jared Quinones sends a high end-over-end kick. That is fielded at the 21-yard line. And taking this one out, I think that's Colton Dreeth on the return. Yep, Colton Dreeth across the 25, down to the 30 on the return. It's 1st and 10 for the Mustangs there at the 30. Let's check in with Nathan Hoagland down on the sideline. He was eavesdropping there on Coach Casey Jacobson's conversation with the defense. Nathan, what'd you hear down there? Oh, we do not have Nathan's mic. We'll try and get Nathan here in just a moment, but we don't have Nathan, unfortunately. So it is 1st down and 10 here for the Mustangs at their own 30-yard line. Dalenchek throws toward the right side. That one's caught by Sievert outside the right numbers across the 30 to the 33-yard line. And it'll be 2nd down and, that's 6 out to the 34-yard line.
That's the first time I've seen Morningside in that formation today. They got into a trip set, brought the tight end over to the trips, and then brought number 3 into a wing, and thus you have a wing to an unbalanced side, and then they throw the bubble to the wing.
Bouncing off tackle, this is Anthony Sims outside the left hash, 35-40, and he picks up 8 yards to the 42-yard line. Good carry on 2nd and 6 for 1st down yardage. It's 1st and 10. Anthony Sims keeping his feet moving, picking up some good gains, and Morningside has eclipsed 500 yards of offense here. 1st and 10, 42, a play action, pass left side, caught by Towdy, turns inside the left numbers across midfield and is tripped up across midfield to the Midland 49-yard line. Gain of 9, it's 2nd and 1. 2nd down and 1 here for the Mustangs. 10.5 to play in the 3rd quarter. Morningside up on Midland, 42-7 on the People's Bank scoreboard. Here's 2 receivers right, 1 receiver left of Dalenchek in the gun. Sims motions out of the backfield. Dalenchek a 3-step drop, throws it deep over the right sideline looking for Juergensmeyer. Makes a great over-the-shoulder catch into the red zone, out of bounds at the 17-yard line. A pickup of 32 is more than enough for another 1st down into the red zone.
What a lot of people don't realize about that play is how Juergensmeyer stayed away from the sideline so that Joe could have a spot to throw the football, and then the ball skills that he made to adjust to that throw, and that's why I think he's one of the best receivers in the country.
And there's a pass on the out route. Juergensmeyer gets away from the defender and just waltzes into the end zone for a Mustang touchdown. Dalenchek finds Juergensmeyer for the 2nd time tonight, this afternoon I should say, for 6 points. And Morningside increases their lead again. It's 48-7 on the People's Bank scoreboard.
Just a little simple speed out by him. He was in the number 2 receiver spot. And if you notice, when he caught the ball, he just stopped and let the defender kind of fly by him and then all but walked in the end zone. So that shows his athleticism.
Oh, what do we have? We have a late flag thrown in by our white hat. I have no idea what this could be. Well before the play started. And our white hat threw this flag. It's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct on Midland, and our white hat's asking Coach Ryan whether he wants it on the kickoff or on the point after. I think he's definitely going to take that on the kickoff. Got some unsportsmanlike conduct, though. Our white hat must have heard something there on the line from Midland. And so, yeah, that 15 yards will be applied on the kickoff. Now Chase Carter will be ready to go for the point after. Morningside leads 48-7 on the People's Bank scoreboard. Mustangs wasted no time getting into the end zone with 9:51 left to play in the 3rd quarter, beg your pardon. Here's Carter's point after kick with Ladwig on the hold. Snap spot. And the line drive end-over-end kick is straight through the uprights and good. 49-7, Morningside all over Midland. 9:51 to play in the 3rd quarter. We're back after this 30-second break. You're listening to Mustang Football on the voice of Morningside Athletics, Fox Sports Radio 620, KMNS, Sioux City. We welcome you back to Elwood Olson Stadium in Sioux City. Daniel Versteg, Bob Goodvin with you up in the booth. Nathan Hoagland down on the sideline. We'll try getting some words in from Nathan here after this kickoff, after we had a little bit of problems getting him on our last report. Morningside ready to boot this thing away from midfield following the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that was on the point after try. The Mustangs lead 49-7 on the People's Bank scoreboard. A touchdown pass from Joe Dolencheck to Reed Juergensmeyer. Capped off a 5-play, 85-yard drive. 5-play, 70-yard drive that finished up in about a minute and a half as Carter easily boots that thing out of the end zone for a touchback. Midland will start at their own 25, and we check in with the third member of our crew. That's Nathan Hoagland. And, Nathan, we were asking you what you heard from Coach Jacobson on that last conversation they had as the defense goes out on the field.
Yeah, they were just talking about needing to finish the game. It doesn't matter how much time or what the score is. You still have to tackle. You still have to defend. You need to finish the game.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Nathan. That's important for a team like Morningside who gets up big. Trying to finish the last 20, 25 minutes or so has got to be a chore sometimes. Here's a new quarterback into the ball game, and it is Braden Ruffin, the freshman. Braden Ruffin kept it himself, picks up a yard to the 26, and Ruffin now checks out of the ball game, and Jake Ashby is back in. So it'll be 2nd down and 9. That was probably a designed quarterback run, not so much of an option play as it appeared. 2nd down and 9 for the Warriors from their own 26. So Ashby back out there, 2 receivers right, 1 receiver left with a tight end on the right side of the line of scrimmage. Ashby drops back to throw, face a big blitz, gets absolutely nailed as he throws. They're going to throw a flag for roughing the passer on Tyler Wingert as that pass fell incomplete. Looking for Kenneth Carr. Jamal Jones was on the coverage. Wingert will get called for roughing the passer, and that'll give the Warriors a 1st down. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that penalty. Obviously, I have a bias. Yeah. You know, Bob, I feel like you're probably going to agree with me, but I got to ask the question, what is Tyler supposed to do in that scenario? Is he just supposed to let up when he's 2 inches in front of the quarterback?
Well, I'm going to ask you, what did he do? I was watching the route scheme. I mean, what did he land on him?
I guess that's probably the only thing they got on him. Yeah. He hit him hard.
Well, that's legal. I mean, you can
legal.
Hit people hard
Yeah,
in football.
Exactly.
Well, most of the time you can.
The hit definitely wasn't late. I don't think that was the case, but nevertheless, they got him for roughing the passer. It's 1st down and 10 here for the Warriors of their own 41. Ashby drops back to throw. 4 receivers going out. Pass over the middle, short of Kenneth Carr, the 3rd and incomplete. That one might have been deflected. Yeah, Dominic Barrett deflected that with his fingertips. He's shaking it out with his right hand. It's 2nd down and 10. Barrett got a piece of that thing.
I think a painful piece, too.
A very painful
My guess
piece.
is he's got a jammed finger right now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, whether he got the arm of the quarterback or he got the football.
Yeah, look, he's pulling his finger out.
Pulling on his finger. Well, we hope that, and we're kind of laughing about it, but we hope that's not actually a big issue, just a small thing. Here's 2nd and 10. Ashby running right off the snap. Throws it over the middle. Tremaine makes a leaping grab, and he's brought down across the 35 by Drew Bessie at the Mustang 34. Big completion to Tremaine. He's got 25 yards on that pass, and it's 1st and 10.
Well, I think Morningside brought 7 guys on that play, and you know, you give Midland credit for protecting the quarterback the way they did, because they really didn't get that close to him, and give the quarterback a little credit for hanging in there.
Yeah, just long enough to be able to throw a competitive ball up there, and Tremaine made a nice adjustment. 1st and 10, Mustang 34. Ashby with a play action. Drops to throw over the left seam looking for Tremaine, and well overthrows Dalton Tremaine. Incomplete. Josh Miller and Drew Bessie were on the coverage. It's 2nd and 10.
See, I think instead of throwing that ball deeper to him, he needs to throw that ball wider to him, because there's nobody left on that side of the field, and then he can run and get it, whereas if you throw it over his head, he's throwing it into the coverage a little bit.
And you said that on another play
yeah,
earlier in this
it's
contest.
almost the same route. If you just throw the ball sideways, and we use the term you throw him open is what you're doing.
Sure. 2nd down and 10 here for the Warriors. Mustang 34, Ashby 2 receivers right. Morningside brings a big blitz again. He chucks it up, and that one, it bounced. Or are they going to say he caught it? That's a pick for Josh Miller at the 29-yard line. That thing was close to hitting the ground. Miller is ruled with the interception there at the 29. It's 1st and 10 for the Mustangs.
Yeah, Morningside brought the outside linebacker again, and there's nobody there to block him. And what the mistake the quarterback makes is he's throwing the ball not only off his back foot, but he's almost jumping when he throws it, and thus he can't get anything on the throw. And it's probably a good thing he didn't get anything on the throw, because if he did, it would have been a pick six.
Yeah, Miller had to go dive for it, and it looked like that thing bounced into his chest, and that's how he ended up corralling it, but he ended up intercepting it, as our officials call it. So now 1st and 10 for the Mustangs at the 29. Dolencheck with an empty backfield. Pass left side off a screen. That one gets batted away by the defensive end, Trevor Hublovitz, looking for Michael Payne on the screen pass. Good job by Hublovitz to force 2nd and 10.
Just another wrinkle to a play they ran forever, and that's the hash screen to the wideout. They just brought a receiver across the formation in motion to help block. And fortunately for Midland, the defensive end got in the air and knocked the ball down.
8:15 left in the third quarter. 49-7 Morningside on the People's Bank scoreboard. Handoff up the middle. Ryan Cole almost breaks free, gets across the 30, 35, and down to the 40-yard line. Up the left hash, a great touchdown-saving tackle there by Crash Woodle. It's 11 yards and a first down for Morningside.
He's got really good vision for a true freshman. A lot of times high school kids coming out of high school offenses don't use vision like they should, and he's got good vision for a young kid.
Now Ryan Cole, the true freshman, as you mentioned, from St. Ansgar. 1st and 10 of the 40. Play action. Dolencheck looking to throw. Rolls out left. Takes a shot. Throws it down the left sideline, and the pass falls either short of Michael Payne or long of Reed Juergensmeyer. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 as Hublovitz lays the wood to Joe Dolencheck.
And then helped him up. I mean, that's almost a bigger insult. You get buried by him, and then he helps you up.
2nd and 10. Dolencheck play action. Pass toward the left sideline, and Schwager does make the catch, but has to go out of bounds immediately at the 46-yard line. That's a pickup of 4 for Schwager, and it's 3rd and 4.
What people don't realize is quarterbacks in the shotgun, when they do quick game stuff, he's got to catch the ball in the shotgun snap and throw it. And so often you got to throw it without the laces.
3rd down and 4. Dolencheck to throw over the left seam. It's caught. This is Joshua Simmons across the 45 and down at the 40-yard line of Midland, picking up 16 yards on the first completion of the career of Joshua Simmons at Morningside University. It's 1st and 10.
When Dolencheck catches the ball and is able to drop and has time to grip the ball, you never see him make what I call a bad throw.
Sweep left side. Cole gets brought down to the 39. 2nd and 9 upcoming.
And what I mean by that, you seldom he always throws a tight spiral when he does that. But once in a while in the quick game and on these quick screens, the ball will wobble on him. And that the play before that, you saw that the ball wobbled out there, and that just tells me he doesn't get a good grip on the ball. Maybe his hands aren't as big as you think they are, and sometimes.
2nd and 9, handoff up the middle. This is Mike Miner in between the hashes, gets across the 35 to the 34. It's a pickup of 5. And it's 3rd down and 4 for the Mustangs, deeper into Midland territory.
That's a big joke in the NFL, that when they talk about NFL hands being big, quarterback hands. But if you're in the shotgun and you're going to throw the ball quick, it does help to have big hands, trust me.
Yeah, you get a lot more rotation probably on the football there. Handoff up the middle. That's Mike Miner being stopped short of the marker at the 32-yard line, only picking up 2. It's 4th down and 2 and a decision for the Mustangs.
Oh, I think you definitely go for it.
Well, then that offense is staying out there. Mike Miner heads to the sideline with a bit of a limp, which is not a good sight. Ryan Cole comes out there to take his place as a running back.
They're bringing in their big package. They got 2 tight ends and 2 fullbacks in the game.
Here's Dolencheck under center. 4th and 2. Handoff straight up the middle. Ryan Cole has first down yardage and more. 25-20, 15, and tackled at the 10-yard line. A carry straight up the middle on 4th and 2. Picks up 22, and it's 1st and goal. Well, there you go. Ryan Cole with a big carry, and now we've got flags after the play. I don't know. We've been seeing it. It's going to be on Midland. The Warriors getting a little chippy there after the play. And that's going to get Morningside half the distance to the goal. They got Courtney Chandler, the safety, for unsportsmanlike conduct. And he comes off the field ripping his helmet off. He is not a happy camper over there. So it's first and goal here for the Mustangs at the Midland 5-yard line. 5:21 left in the third quarter. 49-7. Morningside leads Midland on our People's Bank scoreboard. Joe Dolenchek lines up under center in an offset I formation. This is Towdy as the fullback. Offset to the right. Cole behind him. Handoff Dolenchek to Cole around the right side. Nothing there for Ryan Cole. He maybe loses a yard as well. It's going to be second and goal for the Mustangs.
Morningside staying in this 22 package, 2 tight ends, 2 fullbacks, 3 tight ends, and a fullback, whatever.
Sure.
But they're staying in it. But see, now they take the same personnel and they widen
Right.
Jurgensmeyer out, so he was playing one of the tight end spots, and they should throw to him.
Nobody's on him, and Jurgensmeyer just walks into the end zone for a touchdown. Midland was all pointing at Reed saying, why don't you guard him? You guard him. And Reed ends up walking into the end zone for a 5-yard touchdown catch, his 3rd touchdown reception of the contest. And Morningside leads Midland 55-7 on the People's Bank scoreboard.
And that's not a called play. When he went out there and was just uncovered, that's just the idea, I'm going to throw to the uncovered guy.
That is now 60 career receiving touchdowns for Reed Jurgensmeyer. The only player in Morningside history to hit 60 receiving touchdowns was Connor Niles. The point after kick by Chase Carter through the uprights and good. 60 career receiving touchdowns for Reed Jurgensmeyer as they go up 56-7 over Midland on the People's Bank scoreboard. 4:46 left in the third quarter. We'll take a 30-second timeout. We're back with the kickoff after this break. You're listening to Mustang Football on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS, Sioux City. We welcome you back into the Irving and Carolyn Jensen press box high atop Elwood Olson Stadium. Daniel Versteg, Bob Goodman up in the booth. Nathan Hoagland's down on the sideline. We'll get a few words in from Nathan here in just a moment. Morningside finishes off an 11-play, 71-yard drive in a little under 4 minutes with a 5-yard touchdown pass to Reed Jurgensmeyer as Chase Carter boots this one into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback as Darren Gentry fields it 3 yards deep in the end zone. So while they spot Midland at the 25-yard line, let's check in with Nathan Hoagland, third member of our crew. Nathan, what kind of things are you seeing and hearing down there?
Yeah, obviously a lot of excitement. Real happy on the Morningside sideline they are. Mostly you have the older guys now trying to coach up some of those younger guys on what they were doing today. And you didn't mention smelling, but yeah, it's getting tempting.
Yeah, you know, I thought you would end up going there, Nathan. I'm glad you did. Yeah, Taste of Morningside is getting started in about half an hour. Thanks for that update, Nathan. Here's a pass toward the left sideline. Darren Gentry makes a great grab across the 35, hit hard at the 39. It's 14 yards and a first down for the Warriors. I don't know, Bob. I think some Bob Rose wings sound pretty darn good. I know that's going to be on hand at Taste of Morningside. A number of other vendors. That gets started at 4 o'clock. That's always a temptation when you come to a homecoming football game. They didn't have it last year, though. That was one of the things that got nixed due to COVID. And that was a little disappointing. Here's a handoff sweeper on the right side. Tremaine cuts inside the hash to the 45-50, across midfield and into Mustang territory at the 43. Dalton Tremaine picks up 18 and a first down for the Warriors.
Looks like Morningside's got some backups in on the defensive line right now, and but they still have their starting linebackers in, starting secondary in.
Yeah, that defensive line looks pretty much all different, except Zach McKee's out there on the defensive end instead of the tackle. Here's Ashby dropping to the throw, pass over the middle. That one's well overthrown of Austin Harris and incomplete. Davion Bradley on the coverage It's 2nd and 10 of the Morningside 43. You know, to go back to what Nathan, when he was being serious down there, when he was actually talking about the players coaching the younger players for Morningside, you know, Coach Ryan talked about he was fine with taking a little bit extra time during the bye week because he knows he's got such a veteran team, and to see them be an extension of the coaching staff has got to be good for him to see.
Yeah, absolutely, and these kids received the same treatment from the older kids when they were freshmen and sophomores. So
2nd and 10, Ashby drops to throw, pass over the left seam. That ball's batted away by Josh Miller and incomplete. Darren Gentry, the intended target. Jamal Jones is on the backside as well. All of that makes an incomplete pass. It's 3rd and 10.
You know, you hear the term winning culture quite a bit thrown around, and when your older kids can teach your younger kids how to do things and do things right, that's part of a winning culture, I guarantee you.
Yeah, well, and you know, let's face it. Some of these college kids, they probably don't want to be yelled at by a 50-year-old coach, 45-year-old coach, what have you. But
I wish I was 50.
but
you're right.
Yeah,
you're exactly right.
3rd and 10. Ashby drops to throw. Screen pass overthrown of Levi Markey. It's 4th and 10. But when they can hear it from the senior player on the squad, maybe it gets taken a little bit easier than if coach were to be yelling at them, you know?
Well, and here's the other thing about that senior player who's talking to him on the football field. He's also talking to him in the locker room. Mm-hmm. He's also talking to him in the classroom.
Yep.
And these kids are doing everything right off the football field, or else nobody would listen to them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
right. Yeah,
that's that winning culture.
Absolutely. You could walk around campus, see these guys everywhere, and they are they may look big and scary, but they are great people on and off the field. There's a pass left seam, and Josh Miller got in front of Aaron Gentry again on 4th and 10. Bats it away, incomplete. Turnover on downs for the Warriors. Morningside starts 1st and 10 from their own 43-yard line.
The one thing I noticed with the Midland passing game is that the ball seems to be in the air a long time. I mean, I know they're throwing the ball downfield, but the ball just seems to be in the air a long time, and all that does is give the defensive backs time to react.
You want a little bit more zip on it, and not the floaters that he seems to be throwing. 1st and 10 here for the Mustangs at their own 43, and that's something you got to teach probably to your high school quarterbacks. You say a number of times, right?
Lots of times.
Lots of times.
But a lot of it has to do with your mechanics, and
sure.
It has a lot to do with your footwork. And remember, I said earlier, one of the things you see when he gets pressured is he's throwing the ball off his back foot, and he's sometimes even jumping to throw the ball.
Mm.
And I kind of think those habits drift into almost every throw, and thus he doesn't get enough zip on it. Sure. It's not that he lacks the arm strength, but
sure. Well, Ryan Cole loses 3 yards on the first down. 2nd down and 13 as Morningside. Well, they still have Joe Dolenchek out there at quarterback. A couple of changes maybe on the offensive line. Handoff Cole up the left seam. Picks up 3 yards. He gets those 3 yards that he lost to make it 3rd and 10 from the Mustang 43.
Now, I don't have documented proof of this, but I'd almost bet you to say that last play where they had a negative yardage play might have been the first one of the game, other than penalties.
Yeah, it's
they stay ahead of the sticks all the time.
Right. Yeah, outside of penalties, I'd say you're probably right. 3rd down and 10 here at the Mustang 43. 2 receivers right, 1 left of Dolenchek. Trying to hard count, seeing if they can make it a 3rd and manageable. Now he drops back to throw. Pass into the flats. Cole is wide open across the 45, midfield into Warrior territory. Across the 45 to the 42. A big gain. Picks up more than enough for a Mustang first down.
And Midland rolled the safety into the flat down here on the boundary side, but yet Morningside threw into the flat to the wide side of the field. So they just threw away from the coverage.
1st down and 10 as a result there. Ryan Cole out as a receiver. Warrior 42-yard line. I believe Matt Strecker is now into the game as a running back, and it is. They give it to Strecker downhill running up the middle. And Strecker gets tripped up and brought down to the 40. Late flag comes out. Some more extracurriculars coming out. I'm not sure whether this will be on Morningside or on Midland. Right now, the result of the play is a 2-yard gain for Strecker to make 2nd and 8, but this penalty will definitely impact that. Our umpire was the one who threw the laundry. And our white hat will give us the news. See what we've got. Unnecessary roughness. on Midland. So that's going to give Morningside a first down. They got Jeremy Costa, the backup safety, for the unnecessary roughness, and there he goes toward the sideline. So 15 yards, automatic first down, up to Midland's 25-yard line. So the Mustangs go back to work again. Dallin checking the pistol, 2 receivers right, 1 left. Chest high snap, screen pass right side, Payne looking to turn outside the numbers, and Michael Payne gets brought down to the 21-yard line, a pickup of 4. Maybe 5, makes it 2nd and 5.
And that's a really good play by the Midland corner, because not only does he take the blocker on and make the tackle, but he keeps the play inside of him. What the corner cannot do is let that play get outside, because if he does, there's nobody left to help. And so he takes on the blocker, keeps leverage, keeps outside contained, and makes the tackle. That's a good play.
2nd down and 5, Midland 20-yard line. Just into the red zone now for Morningside. 2 receivers on either side of Dallin. He gives it up the middle. Strecker looking up the right hash. He keeps moving the pile, and he stops short of the marker at the 16. It'll be 3rd down and 1 for the Mustangs as they enter the red zone.
I think is when games get out of control and they get chippy, one of the things you get your guys out of there, because, 1, you don't want to get him hurt on a cheap shot of some sort, but 2, you don't want to get him kicked out of the game.
Right.
I mean, that could easily happen.
Well, yeah, and you know, we don't see it very often, so I don't know the rules, but you don't want to risk maybe a suspension of the next week,
Yep.
you know. 3rd down and 1 here at the Midland 16. Dallin under center. Single back. Handoff up the middle. Strecker. And Matt Strecker has first down yardage across the 15 to the 14. A pickup of 2 moves the sticks and a first down for the Mustangs.
Strecker brings a different element to the run game with him. I mean, he's not going to make a lot of guys miss, but he's a big pounding back. He's a big body, and he can get 2 yards when there's only 1 to be had.
Right.
And
he ends our 3rd quarter as well. Morningside leading Midland 56-7 on our People's Bank scoreboard. 3 quarters in the books. 4th quarter coming up when we return to Elwood Olson Stadium. In 1 minute, you're listening to Mustang Football on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS, Sioux City. We welcome you back to Elwood Olson Stadium. Daniel Versteg, Bob Goodvin up in the booth. Nathan Hoagland down on the sideline. Our score, Morningside 56, Midland 7 on the People's Bank scoreboard. So we get ready to start the 4th quarter, Bob. Morningside continues to roll. They just continue to be doing things right offensively and defensively in this one.
there's no doubt about that. I mean, execution is a big part of their vocabulary.
They've executed to a first down and 10 here at the Midland 14-yard line. As Morningside tries to keep this drive rolling. As Dallin lines up in an offset I formation. Receiver left side motions to the right side as a tight end. Dallin hands it off straight up the middle. This is Cole up the seam to the 10. Brought down to the 9. Pickup of 5. It's 2nd down and 5 for Morningside.
Now this is old school football right here. This is 2 tight ends, 2 backs, and we're just going to run the ball right at you, and it's the toughest man's going to win.
We have a Midland Warrior down on the field ahead of the 2nd and 5 play. Coming up at the end of the contest will be our Long Lines post-game report. We will get you stats and scores from around the Great Plains Athletic Conference, and Nathan Hoagland will also get us an interview with the head coach of Morningside football, Coach Steve Ryan. And as that Midland Warrior is being attended to, again, our Long Lines post-game report coming up at the end of this contest. With 14:49 left in the ball game, 56-7, Morningside leading Midland. And getting up to his feet, Joey Martin, the corner, and being helped off the field by the Midland training staff. And not a whole lot of, help. He's able to walk off under his own power. That's great to see. So it's second down and 5 here for the Mustangs at the Midland 9-yard line. And we do want to remind you our next Mustang sports broadcast is our next Mustang football game next Saturday, Morningside will be at Hastings for a 1 o'clock kick. We'll have the pregame at 12:30 from the home of Tom Osborne and Hastings, Nebraska, as Morningside will look to finish off the first half of the regular season with a win at Hastings. They'll be 5 games down after next week and 5 more to go in the regular season. Of course, we expect there to be more than those 5 games left overall, but as far as the regular season goes, that'll be where we're at. Now the clock starts to run again as Morningside heads over to the line of scrimmage after that injured player walks off the field. Second down and 5 here for the Mustangs at the Warrior 9. Dolencheck under center, handoff up the middle. This is Ryan Cole again. And Cole gets tackled awkwardly in the middle of the pile at the 7-yard line. Pickup of about maybe a yard. It'll be third down and 4.
What you probably should do right now is look at the Morningside schedule and look down the road to when they play Northwestern and circle that date, because there's going to be a lot riding on that game probably, not only a GPAC championship, but maybe a number 2 or higher seed in the playoffs.
Right. I mean, November 6th, by the way, in Orange City. Funny how that works. Third down and 4 here for Morningside. Midland 8. Dolencheck at the pistol. Play action for Cole. Dolencheck rolls out right and throws it well short and incomplete of Jack Sievert. Hublovitz might have gotten a fingertip on that. I'm not sure. Anyway, the incompletion makes it 4th and 4. And they're going to give the field goal unit another try to redeem themselves and put one through the uprights.
I'll tell you who made that play. That was the defensive end, because when they released the wing, they wanted to hit him in the flat right away, and the defensive end rerouted him and took away that option for Dolencheck, and his second option was taken down by the corner. So it's really the defensive end rerouting the wing that made the play.
25-yard field goal upcoming for Chase Carter, just inside the right hash. Good snap to Ladwig, and Carter puts through the 25-yard field goal. The third field goal try of the year for the Mustangs, and the first conversion makes it 59-7 in favor of Morningside on the People's Bank scoreboard. 13:26 left in the ball game. We'll get a break in. We'll come back. We'll have the kickoff when we return to Elwood Olson Stadium after this break. You're listening to Mustang Football on the voice of Morningside Athletics, Fox Sports Radio 620, KMNS, Sioux City. We welcome you back to Elwood Olson Stadium on the campus of Morningside University. Daniel Versteg, Bob Goodvin up in the booth. Nathan Hoagland's down on the sideline trying to contain himself from heading over to Taste of Morningside here in just about 12 minutes. Yeah, he's ready to go. We'll check in with Nathan here in just a moment. 13:26 left in regulation. Morningside up on Midland, 59-7 on our People's Bank scoreboard following Chase Carter's 25-yard field goal. Darren Gentry fields this kickoff at the 5, takes it outside the right numbers to the 20, cuts back, and is tackled at the 23-yard line. Good return for Gentry. 1st and 10 for the Warriors at the 24-yard line. Let's check in with Nathan I'm Really Hungry Hoagland down on the field, getting ready for a Taste of Morningside. Nathan, is it getting tough to be able to contain yourself down there?
Well, you know, I strategically wore black today because Morningside's wearing black. So I plan on shuffling through the sideline till you lose me, and we don't know where I'll be after that.
Well, that is a plan, Nathan. I would say that's a plan. I don't know if that's a good plan.
You know, I can sell it.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, just sell it like those motion plays. There you go. There's a little gain by Ashby for a yard to the 24. Now, I don't know, Bob. I feel like I have pretty good eyesight. I don't think most people could lose Nathan in a field of a bunch of football players.
Yeah, this is a new fourth quarter game. Where is Nathan? Where in the world is Nathan?
There you go, exactly. That should be what our sideline segment is called. Where in the world is Nathan Hoagland? We'll never know the answer. Maybe he's in Lincoln. I heard he's a big Husker fan now. Here's second down and 9. The Midland 24. They're waiting on something over there on the far sideline, and Midland just barely know they're gonna get a timeout here from Midland. Yeah, 12:39 to play. It is 59-7. Morningside leading Midland on our People's Bank scoreboard. We've got a timeout on the field. While we have some time, let's thank our sponsors that are bringing you Morningside football each and every Saturday here on KMNS. Of course, last week we didn't have football because of the bye week, but you better believe every Saturday in October, first 2 Saturdays of November, we will have Mustang football the rest of the way through the regular season, and then, of course, any playoff games coming up. So no more bye weeks, nothing stopping us from Mustang football the rest of the way. Great sponsors like Her Health Women's Center, Hy-Vee, Jimmy John's, Jolly Time Popcorn, Lewis Electric, along with Lonnie Hull Realty Specialist, Long Lines, who is sponsoring our post-game coverage, Marriott, South Sioux City Riverfront, Morningside University Bookstore, Patchcraft Hobby Shop, People's Bank, Flans Electronics, Prestige Collision, Prime Bank, Professional Pool and Spa, Rick Collins Toyota, Shields, Scooters Coffee, Security National Bank, Sioux Body Shop, Sport Clips, Stone Brew, and Wheelhouse Bar and Grill. Thanks to our great sponsors. It's second and 9. Ashby fumbles the snap. He didn't pick it up. It's Morningside football, and diving on it inside the 15 at the 10. That is Jesse Hastings. The sophomore defensive lineman recovers the fumble. It's first and 10 for the Mustangs of the Midland 12 following the bad snap.
When it rains, it pours, Daniel.
Yes, it does. Yeah, obviously I'm on Twitter posting some of the scores. One person replied to me and said, a rough afternoon for Midland. I'd say rough is probably an understatement here for the Warriors. Just not what we were expecting. Obviously we haven't seen Midland in person yet, but you just take a look at how they've played this year, the comeback against Dordt, the overtime game against Northwestern, the win they had up in Jamestown. I mean, they've been playing some good football this year as Strecker picks up maybe a yard to the 11. I'd say this is more, I think, a statement about Morningside than it is about Midland, I would say anyway.
Well, I would agree with you there. And if there's anybody who thought that Morningside was down a little bit or not playing very well, this probably should awake you to that idea.
Sure.
Is that the right
I'd
grammar?
Say so.
Awake you?
Yeah, something like that. That'll be second down and 9 here at the Midland 11-yard line. Caden Ladwig is out there at quarterback with under 12 minutes to play in the ballgame. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Ladwig drops to throw. Pass over the middle is wide of Josh Simmons and incomplete. No flag for holding. Incompletion makes it third down and 9.
Morningside motioned the fullback over to a trips open set, and they threw the slant back to the single receiver side. And had the ball been a little bit lower, it would have been more catchable and might have been a touchdown. But as soon as the receiver had to go up and get it, the DB had good coverage, and thus he had really no chance of catching the ball at that point.
So it's third down and 9 here for the Mustangs as they try and capitalize on the good field position following the fumble. A sweep around the right side. This is Greg Chenoweth across the 10, stopped at the 6. Short of the marker. It's going to be fourth down and 4 for the Mustangs on that carry. That's KJ Williams on the carry. KJ Williams on the carry for Morningside. Makes it 4th and 4.
Yeah, it's a play they call power read, where the quarterback's reading the defensive end, and if the end bites on the mesh or the quarterback, he hands it off to the running back, and vice versa if he doesn't, he keeps it. But that play just seemed to take a long time. I was watching the perimeter blocking, and they did a good job for a short time.
Morningside going for it on 4th and 4. Ladwig pass toward the end zone is wide of Michael Payne and incomplete. It'll be a turnover on downs, and Midland will start 1st and 10 from their own 6-yard line. I will correct myself again. That last running play for Morningside was Bryson Freeberg, who is in a different number than I have on my roster. Yeah, he's listed as 26 on my roster, but he's wearing 5 today. Just my luck. So Bryson Freeberg was on that carry, but it ends up not meaning anything, a turnover on downs. It's 1st and 10 for the Warriors from their own 6-yard line with 11 minutes to play in the ball game. Here's Ashby in the gun. He gives it to Levi Markey on a sweeper on the right side, and oh yeah, that reaction says it all. A big hit from the Mustang defense. A gain of a yard makes it 2nd and 9.
The running back did a good job of lowering his pads and running what we call flat back, but boy, the linebacker hit him and just stood him up.
And, well, Markey's slow to get up because of it. Yeah, Morningside is not I don't think they've let up at all throughout this game. They have made some hard hits, and Midland's skill guys I think are definitely paying for it. And it's 2nd down and 9 here for Midland at their own 7, and Markey is being attended to by the Midland and Morningside training staff. Morningside head trainer Katie Burford is out there to make sure things can go well with Midland. 10:48 to play. And again, we want to remind you our next Mustang broadcast comes your way this next Saturday from Hastings. I have the coverage, a 1 o'clock kick, 12:30 pregame. We also want to remind you, we've got Musketeer hockey coming your way tonight. Yes, it's the home opener for the Musketeers. They host the Sioux Falls Stampede. I have a 7 o'clock kick. 7 o'clock puck drop, beg your pardon, 6:45 pregame. I got to get back into hockey mode, man. That's the first time I've had to tease one of those in a long time. So the puck drop is at 7 for the Musketeers and the Stampede. 2nd down and 9 here for the Warriors. Ashby fakes the give. He keeps it himself up the middle, and he gets stood up at the 8-yard line. Only a yard there for Ashby. That'll make it 3rd down and 8. Late flag comes out. There was a big pile of commotion going on there at about the 5-yard line. So we'll await what this flag's all about.
I'm sure they're going to get late hit or unnecessary roughness on Morningside, but to steal a line from you, Daniel, I don't know what they're supposed to do there. I mean, there's
Right.
4 guys, and they're just losing their balance and falling down. I mean,
Yep. And, yeah, they are going to get Morningside for, I guess unnecessary roughness is probably what will end up being the call there. So 15 yards and a 1st down here for the Warriors at their own 23. You know, Bob, I know you won't be making the trip to Hastings with us, which is so sad.
well, I'm not allowed to leave town. That's the problem.
Oh, is that the rule?
Or else if I leave town, they might not let me back in. One or the other.
So somebody's got your face up on the gate. There's a handoff, and Midland picks up a few yards to the 30-yard line. And Brandon Bloom on the carry.
In the old Western days, they escorted you out of town.
Right. Forcibly.
Yes.
But since you're not coming with us to Hastings, you're not going to be partaking in the great Runza meal we got to get down in Hastings, you know.
Well, I'm not a big Runza guy.
Not a big Runza guy?
No.
You know, we do have a lot of Nebraska listeners and a lot of Nebraska players.
Yeah.
That's that might not go over well with some of these fans.
Just give me a good cheeseburger.
Okay, yeah. That's fine with me. Bloom picks up 3 for a 1st down for Midland to the 34. I don't know. I enjoy Runza. Now, I should say, I guess I enjoy Runza. I've never had the original Runza sandwich, so that might change my opinion if I actually had the Runza sandwich. Yeah, no, I've never had the Runza sandwich, but I enjoy getting food at Runza. Here's Ashby dropping a throw. Pump fakes, takes a shot toward the left sideline and overthrows Dalton Tremaine and incomplete. Jesse Hastings was in there on the pressure. It's 2nd down and 10 for the Warriors from their own 34. So our clock stops with 9:13 to play. You know, we were talking about, we mentioned briefly the Northwestern game coming up November 6th. That'll be game number 9 of the season for Morningside, game number 10 for Northwestern. And, you know, I got to imagine for the guys on the field for Morningside, as Ashby gives it down to Bloom, he has a couple yards brought down to the 37, 38 maybe, pick up a 4, 3rd and 6. For the guys on the field, I would say it's got to be pretty difficult when your next few games are Hastings, Briarcliff, Dort's going to be a big one in there, and Jamestown. But it's got to be tough for these guys to just, I don't know, not overlook the rest of your games until you get to the Northwestern contest when you know so much is going to be riding on it.
That's part of that winning culture you talk about, and the term that I always used was we want to be 1-0, and that means we're going to focus on this game and we're going to win this game, and we're not focused on being 9-0 or 11-0. We're focused on being 1-0, and that's so important because if you're not ready to play, you can lose. There's no doubt about that.
Ashby completes a pass while that was going on to Kenneth Carr for a first down to the Morningside 47.
And I'm not saying they weren't ready to play, but look at 2 weeks ago when Morningside played the first half against Mount Marty. I mean, they didn't play very well, and
you can make an argument they weren't fully ready to play.
Yeah, I mean it's easy to overlook something like that, but.
Yeah, especially with all the things going on. No gain there for Midland. All the things going on. It was week 3 of the season, leading into a bye week. A team you've never played because they never had a program. Yeah, that could have easily been an overlooked kind of contest.
I mean, and that's where that term 1-0 comes into play. I mean, we're going to focus this week, and Bill Belichick, as funny as he can be, remember he always says we're going to focus on Miami.
Yep,
we're going to.
We're just on Pittsburgh.
Yes. Yep.
Tremaine,
but there's a ton of truth to that.
Yeah, exactly. Tremaine, a sweep around the left side. He's out of bounds. Just short of the marker at the 38. Gain of 9. It's 3rd and 1. Garrett Hoagland was on the stop there for Morningside. Well, they do give him enough for a first down up to the 37. That's 10 yards. And Midland trying to get back into the end zone again with 7:12 to play in the ball game. The Mustangs leading 59-7 on the People's Bank scoreboard. Morningside's most points put up in the game to this point in the season is 63. A week 1 opener against Concordia. Morningside scored 56 or more in all 4 contests, though. As Ashby drops back to throw, pass over the right side, and Tremaine makes the catch across the 35, brought down to the 34. That's a new Mustang in there. On defense, making the stop, Brody Nelson, the freshman linebacker. Stops the catch for 3. It's 2nd and 7. Yeah, Morningside, they're scheduled the rest of the way. There's a lot of road games the rest of the way. Morningside had a home-heavy start to this season. Mustangs are at Hastings, at Briar Cliff across town. That's not too much of a road contest. Then a couple of home games against Dordt and Jamestown, and then on the road at Northwestern and at Dakota Wesleyan round out the regular season. Says carry for Midland picks up 4 yards to the 30. Levi Markey was on the Brandon Bloom was on the carry for Midland. It'll be a 3rd down and 3. Midland, they don't get a bye week until 2 weeks from now. They're home against Briar Cliff coming up this coming Saturday. And then bye week at Concordia, home against Doane, at Hastings, and then home against Mount Marty. Midland, one of the few teams in the GPAC to get a non-conference game to open up the year, so they will play a full 11-game schedule. 3rd down and 3, pass over the middle, and a great diving catch by Colby Stevens down inside the red zone of the 18. It's a gain of 12 and a first down for Midland.
If you look out there right now, the starting safeties are still in the game.
That's right.
And
And I believe Davion Bradley has been starting at corner over there, and
he's played a lot.
He has played a lot, so he's out there as well. There's 1st and 10 for the Warriors of the Morningside 18. Play action, Ashby to throw toward the right sideline. Great catch by Austin Harris. Getting by the corner, Davion Bradley, out of bounds at the 10, picks up 8. It's 2nd and 2. As Midland tries to get back into the end zone again. Midland has not been held to single digits all season in a game. Fewest they've scored in a contest was 25 in their win against Dordt. 2nd down and 2 at the 10. Handoff up the middle. Brandon Bloom has first down yardage up the seam across the 5 and stood up right at the 5-yard line. That's a gain of 5 and a first down and goal scenario for Midland. 4:35 and counting left in the ballgame. Again, our Long Lines post-game report is coming up at the conclusion of this contest. We'll have stats and scores around the conference. We'll also check in with Nathan Hoagland as he'll talk with Steve Ryan coming up in our Long Lines post-game report. Coach Ryan looking for win number 198 in his collegiate football head coaching career. All of those wins with Morningside University as a head coach. Hand off to Brandon Bloom up the middle. He picks up a yard to the 4-yard line. And again, as long as this score holds the way it is, which I presume it will, as the Warriors slow to get up, Coach Ryan will be at 198 wins, which will move him to 11th all-time in the history of NAIA football. As he'll pass Volney Ashford, the 34-year coach of Missouri Valley College, for 11th all-time, and that is active and inactive NAIA football coaches. Coach Ryan is on the verge of 200 wins in his collegiate football career, which is kind of one of those upper echelons. You know, you talk about 300 wins in baseball. You think about like 25,000 points in basketball. I'd say 200 coaching wins in college football is definitely one of those marks that you kind of measure the greats of the greats of. And, well, after today, Coach Ryan's going to be 2 wins away from that. Ashby throws toward the end zone, and a great catch. It's Austin Harris making the catch in the back of the end zone for 6. That's 59-13 as Midland cuts it to cuts into the deficit just a little bit with 3:40 to play in the ball game.
Okay, Danny, I'm going to give you a homework assignment. Tell me, you know, by next time I see you, tell me how many coaches in all of college football have more wins than Coach Ryan? Because 200 is a lot of wins.
That is a lot of wins, yep.
Okay? And then tell me who's gotten to 200 wins faster.
Okay, all right.
That's your challenge.
I can come up with that.
You're the savant on stats. So.
I will try my best, absolutely. Jared Quinones puts the point after try.
I would almost tell you that that there aren't too many people who's gotten to 200 wins faster.
Right. That one's going to be the lower number. I think I can tell you right off the bat, it's a little over 90 or so coaches are in that 200 win club. But when you think
all of college football,
that's counting all 3 NCAA or all 4 NCAA divisions and the NAIA. That's not counting JUCO routes.
Yep.
And that's over the entire history of college football. That's
not very many in the big picture of things.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you hear that and say, "Wow, that's a lot of coaches," but when you think of 125, 30 years of college football across 5 divisions, that's.
I wonder, do you think Nick Saban has 200 wins?
Ooh, specifically in college football? That's a good question.
Because was he at Bowling Green or somewhere before Michigan State? He was in the NFL for a while.
Right.
I mean, as an assistant. He was with the Cleveland Browns when they were still the Cleveland Browns before they moved to Baltimore.
Right. And then, of course, he had that stint with the Dolphins a little bit as well. But, just college football. I wonder if Nick Saban has 200 wins. I don't think he does. Well, here that'll give me a number of things to work on this week. I'll gladly bring that stuff along to the next time you probably do a game will be him vying for that 200
It will be
win.
number 200.
It will be number 200.
Yep.
That game against Briar Cliff, again, as long as things stay on the track they are and Morningside keeps on winning, if they keep on winning all the way through, the game at Briar Cliff will be Morningside Coach Steve Ryan's 200th career win as a head football coach, and that is elite company to join, and it would be in 241 games. So, we'll see how many people have done it faster than him. Quinones boots that thing out of the end zone for a touchback. So Morningside starts at the 25.
So if things go as planned, and he wins 200 2 weeks from now, he'll be 241.
And 41. Yep.
I'll bet you a Bob Rose pizza.
Okay.
There ain't 5 guys that got faster 200 than that.
5 guys.
I bet there aren't.
Okay. I think that's a solid bet.
I think that's a good bet.
That's a really good bet. Okay. Nathan's putting his hand up down there. We'll check in with Nathan Hoagland. Let's see. What does Nathan have to say? I know he's been doing a little bit of research down there.
I have been doing.
All right, Nathan. First, Nathan, if you're gonna sing that Nebraska fight song, just stop. All right.
All right, Nathan. What do you got?
I have been doing your homework for you.
Okay.
Jake Gaither, the Florida A&M coach, back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, in 240 games.
Really?
Is that it?
Is that the only one?
It's the first one I saw.
Okay, well, we got one. All right, so we'll try.
200 wins.
How many does he have?
247.
247. There you go. Oh, there you go. That's why we have the third member down there to to get those stats for us, and we appreciate Nathan as always. As Morningside's running a couple of plays here. Bryson Freeberg gets to the 30-yard line. It's about 3rd and 5 here, and they're just trying to make sure nobody gets hurt on these last few plays. Clock starts running out.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
They threw a flag on somebody out there, and so that stops the clock here with 2:44 to play. But yeah, it's 200 wins. That's a lot, and I've been waiting for that the milestone here for a while. So I know Coach Ryan probably has not thought twice about it because that's just the kind of guy he is. He just
Okay, I'll ask both of you this: win number 1 for Coach Ryan was against who?
I'm sure I could cheat and look that up right now.
See, I got you both there.
Yeah, I'm sure you got us on that one. I was not prepared for that.
Quit looking it up, Nathan. I can see you on your phone.
Yeah, Nathan's cheating. I don't think it was a GPAC school.
Nope.
Give
you him. It was a Division II school.
I think I got a guess. Was it Wayne State?
It was Wayne
State. All right.
2002.
Yeah, if you didn't say it was Division II school, I don't think I probably would have gotten Wayne State.
It was I think it was the first game of the year for us that year.
And that year, Morningside went 5-5, I believe.
No, I don't think we won that many games.
Oh no, 3-7.
3-7.
Yeah, it was the second year he went 500. Yeah, and that's when he really picked things up from there. But yeah, and that was the year you guys. Because you were on that coaching staff.
Corey Worth kicked the winning field goal.
No kidding.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So you gotta you give me a lot of crap about stats. You've got a lot of stuff there.
That's only because I was part of it. I'm not the stat savant like you two guys.
Oh, come on. Well, it's let's see, 2nd and 14. They're just running out the clock here with 2:01 to play. Ladwig's still in there, quarterback, and well, we got some other players we can get notes to. Tristan Johnson's in at left tackle. I think the entire second string of offensive linemen are in there. Dylan Miller at left guard. Christian Riaz in there. I think Riley Lindbergh on that right side as well. It's Ladwig out of the pistol, a handoff Strecker. He bounces off tackle, doesn't have a whole lot, gets to the 45-yard line. 3rd down and 10 there on that carry by Strecker. Other receivers into the ball game. Got an 88. That's Lakin Harnley here on the near side. And on the far side, we've got Tyler Strauss. A couple of wide receivers into the contest here for Morningside. On the center, that's Hayden Tilgus. Hayden Tilgus is into the ball game at center. So getting a number of players some good playing time. Aiden Queen, the tight end. We haven't seen him a whole lot. He's a freshman from Fremont, playing against this Midland Warriors squad, and he's in at tight end now for the Mustangs. So it's 3rd down and 10. Ladwig gives to Strecker. Dances around defenders, gets tackled at midfield. Makes it 4th and 5, and we have to have one more snap to round out this ballgame. And Midland is going to call a timeout. With 36 seconds to play, Midland calls a timeout. Their first timeout of the half.
That was an impressive play by Dylan Miller, the left guard right now in for Morningside. They ran their little copper penny play where the backside guard pulls and he comes and he kicks out the defensive end right there, and he did a nice job.
And this second string doesn't get a whole lot of opportunities, but when they do, you know, Bob, they're going to try and give any opportunity to show their position coach, show Coach Ryan that they have what it takes to make an impact on this squad.
Well, to be honest with you, I think they get more chances than any second team unit in the country.
That's
they're
true.
Playing by the 3rd quarter.
That's true.
Most of the time.
I could see that. Here's what we got coming up for you on our Long Lines post-game report. We'll have stats from this contest to recap and much more. We'll have interview with Coach Steve Ryan. Nathan Hoagland will chat with the future 200 Win Club member. Of course, he's just got to get 2 more after today, and he'll be there. And Nathan will talk with him on our Long Lines post-game report. We'll also take a look at the scores from around the GPAC, see how things have shifted, if things have shifted at all. We'll take a look at those scores coming up on our Long Lines post-game report and do whatever we can to keep Nathan from Taste of Morningside even longer. Now ahead of this 4th and 5, we have a timeout from Morningside with 36 seconds to play. I get it that they want to work on some things here on a 4th down and 5 scenario, but it seems a little much. I don't know. I'm not a coach, so I don't understand it from that standpoint. But
you coach every play.
Yeah.
You coach every moment. I mean, that's what it is. And I'm sure, their 4th down scenarios in their game plan, they might not have repped enough with these guys.
Sure.
And so, I mean, that's.
And it's a game scenario.
Yep.
That's the main thing,
Yep.
So
I mean, you're always coaching. That's.
No, absolutely. Head of this 4th down and 5, and that's why teams like Morningside are such winners. That's why they have such a winning culture, because Coach Ryan doesn't stop coaching until the final whistle. I would have stopped coaching by now at this point. That's why I'm not a coach. Here's Ladwig looking to throw on 4th and 5. He's got Jack Sievert across the 25 down to the 24. Morningside has 1st and 10, and now the clock will be able to start rolling, and that will be your final score. Final from Elwood Olson Stadium here on homecoming. The Mustangs defeat the Midland Warriors by a final score of 59-14 on our People's Bank scoreboard. For Morningside head football coach Steve Ryan, that is his 198th win as the head coach of the Mustang football team. He's now 11th all-time in the history of NAIA football. Morningside is 4-0 overall and in GPAC play, keeping stride with Northwestern at the top of the conference. Morningside at Hastings next week. Midland falls to 3-3. They are 3-2 in the GPAC. And the Warriors will be home against Briar Cliff next Saturday. Coming up, our Long Lines post-game report. We'll have stats and a recap of this one, as well as scores across the GPAC. Nathan Hoagland will talk with Coach Ryan. All coming up on our Long Lines post-game report. We're back in 3 minutes after this break. You're listening to Mustang Football on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS, Sioux City. Welcome back to Elwood Olson Stadium. Daniel Versteg alongside Bob Goodwin up in the booth. Nathan Hoagland down on the sideline. Final score, Morningside 59, Midland 14 on our People's Bank scoreboard. Taking a look at the numbers, it was dominant in Morningside's favor. Even though you have a gripe with the red zone numbers, which I can understand. The Morningside missed a field goal in the red zone, so they missed a red zone scoring chance. And then in their last drive, they got down inside the 20, turned the ball over on downs, and Bob is upset that they had a red zone scoring chance and missed it there. And
no, I'm talking about the last play of the game when they completed the pass. Did that ball get in the red zone, and did that count as a red zone possession?
Oh, I don't think that one did.
Okay, that's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. No, I think the possession.
Okay, no.
Okay,
the one where they didn't score, that's a true possession. But,
right. Okay.
I mean, at the end of the year, you're going to look at your red zone possession stats, and you're telling me that on the last play of the game we get to the 19, and that counts as it's the last play of the game?
Right. Yeah, I don't think that one got to the red zone.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I can see where your gripe would be with that if that was the case. All right. Anyway, it's our Long Lines post-game report. Welcome into our Long Lines post-game. As Morningside defeats the Midland Warriors by a final of 59-14. A dominating performance. Morningside improves to 4-0 overall and in the GPAC. And the Midland Warriors are 500 at 3-3. They are 3-2 in the conference. Nathan Hoagland's going to talk to Coach Steve Ryan for us once they get things ironed out down there on the field and get things straightened out. We'll start by taking a look at some of the team stats. We're also going to take a look at GPAC scores coming up as well. Team stats first. Morningside finishes with 704 yards of total offense, 261 through the ground, 443 through the air. Morningside gets penalized 6 times for 60 yards. They fumble the ball once. And Morningside goes 5 of 11 on third downs, 3 of 4 on fourth downs, and 7 of 9 in their red zone chances. Joe Dolencheck, 25 of 33 passing, 369 yards, and 3 passing touchdowns. It was Anthony Sims, 19 carries, 153 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns. Caleb Schwagert had a rushing touchdown as well. Zach Norton had 7 catches, 197 yards. Did not get into the end zone, oddly enough. Reed Juergensmeyer, 8 catches, 131 yards. He had 3 receiving touchdowns. He becomes the second player in program history to catch 60 career touchdown passes. And I'll give you 3 guesses as to who the other one does, and the first 2 don't count. It's Connor Niles, of course. No duh about that one. As Morningside wins this one, 59-14. Some of the other individual numbers for the Mustangs. Well, we got Coach Ryan first down on the field, our Long Lines post.